SnapShotMyBusiness.com.
Ho, ho, ho.
Healthier starts here with Get Covered New Jersey. Get quality, affordable health coverage. 9 in 10 get financial help to lower costs, and many pay $10 a month or less. Enroll at getcovered.nj.gov.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program? Yeah.
97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
Now, live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
Enjoy the victory. Don't be a prisoner of your expectations. One thing I said to him is like, when you lose and everything, and I think I might have said this to the coaches, and how much it hurts when you lose and how down you are when you lose. You got to enjoy a victory, no matter what the expectation was.
Well, the expectations was yesterday that the Eagles would win the game, but it seemed to be a little more difficult than we thought. The Sports Bash live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live video streaming on the X platform and on YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SBLive. Well, that was Nick Sirianni. He said, yeah, even beating Carolina feels good. But does it feel good? Does it feel good? We'll get into that. I know, boy, we got a lot of people at the Fanatics Sportsbook where we are live today coming up to us. And everybody seems a little grumpy today.
That was a lot of questions
after the Eagles
2 minutes, right?
win. All right, Mike Gill, my on-site producer, PG, Josh Henning back at the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. Eagles win yesterday 22-16, a lot closer than people thought. Leggett drops the pass, really would have won them the game or at least given them a late lead, and the Eagles hold on to win the game. And those are the kind of games that all the questions start to re-enter your mind, right? All the questions start to come back. All the doubts, all the negativity start to come in. And here's what I will say. I don't care how the Eagles won the game, and I know they played an opponent that they were clearly better than, and they did not look good. That I will not disagree with at all. I had a lot of concern watching the game yesterday about Jalen Hurts and his performance. I thought yesterday he was dreadful. Now, the numbers would suggest that he played pretty well. He was a high completion percentage. He had some great decisions to run the ball, but there were so many decisions that he did not make. I said I didn't have to watch the All-22 yesterday to see how many guys he missed. He missed a ton of easy pitch and catch throws, and that had me really concerned. And then after the game, it's one thing to say, okay, flush it, move on, and I'm okay with that. Look, you can't say the team's good enough to beat Baltimore, but then say, well, I'm a little concerned because they barely beat Carolina. Look, there's games every single week that you're like, I never saw that game coming. And yesterday was a clear example of, I didn't see that game coming. Carolina's been playing better, but it's the way the game went and what happened after the game. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are saying what we're all saying. The passing game is not good enough, and it's a problem. And yesterday, I'm watching a game, and all I keep yelling at the TV is, there's a guy open, throw it to him. I tweeted out 2 weeks ago, the Eagles should run a slant to A.J. Brown 5 to 7 times a week. That play is open. If I said 15 to 17 times a week, they could do it. That play is open the entire bleeping day, and Jalen Hurts almost refuses to throw that pass. Yesterday, the play was open all day long, and he just absolutely didn't pull the trigger. There were so many plays in that game yesterday that the quarterback just did not make. He made the game harder for himself yesterday. They threw one slant to A.J. Brown, and I say it every week. Throw the slant to A.J. Brown. What's going to happen? He's going to break a tackle. There's going to be a missed tackle, and he'll end up getting a first down. They threw a slant to A.J. Brown. He caught the pass. The guy missed the tackle. A.J. Brown first down. This offense should not be all that difficult, friends. This offense is Saquon Barkley. This offense is slants. This offense is play action and tight ends in the seams. And then big plays every now and then based off of, hey, we just ran play action. There's a big play there. We ran play action. We can get a big shot down the field. We run the ball to Barkley. We hit you with a slant. This should be a pretty easy thing to do because you have so many toys to play with. You know, this is like the kid on Christmas who's the rich, spoiled brat and calls you up after your Christmas and tells you about all the great presents he got, and you're stuck playing with the same toy, and you're thinking, how the heck is he going to even have time to play with all those toys? The Eagles have all the toys, and yet they're only having fun playing with one. They're only having fun playing with one toy, and they're lucky they have that toy in Saquon Barkley. They're lucky right now that Saquon Barkley is essentially in the MVP conversation because he's having a historic season. Because without that, what do you have? An underperforming offense, which, listen, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts stinks. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are plays to be made that he's not making that he has made in the past. And I don't know if he's so worried about turning the football over that is something that's kind of fresh in his mind. I don't know if it's the fact that he's not seeing the field, that he's missing some things here. But quite frankly, these are elementary passes. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, bang, get the ball out. I mean, even Bryce Young yesterday, a guy who has struggle bust his whole way through his career so far. Why does it look fluid for him? Why does it 1, 2, 3, top of the drop back, plant, throw, anticipation, there's Thielen, makes a catch. How many times yesterday? Oh, my gosh. How many times? 1, 2, 3, stop. There's a guy open, and he doesn't throw it. 1, 2, 3, top of the drop back, stop, fire. I mean, there's a play. He ends up going to the sideline. There's nothing there. If you look at the top of the route at the top of the field, Devontae Smith is one-on-one. He 1, 2, 3, 4 hits the pick, come back. You got to hit him in the anticipation. That ball needs to be out before that receiver even breaks. And it's not happening. This offense is elementary because it's so talented, and he is not running the offense the way that it's meant to be run. And now you are starting to see the frustration, which is unbelievable. This team has won 9 games in a row. They're 11-2. They're in first place. They're playing for the number 1 seed. And you got the receivers on this team saying, we can't throw the ball. You shouldn't be 11-2 at this stage of the season. And when the reporters asked you after the game, what's going on with this offense? Passing, not good enough. When you have A.J. Brown, this is the last thing you need, is A.J. Brown to turn into a decisive person in this big picture. But A.J. Brown is now realizing, not good enough. Why? Because he's open all day long. He is open all game long. And it's frustrating because if I'm him, I understand. I understand why he's frustrated. I totally get it. I'd be frustrated too because I'm open all day. Throw me the freaking ball. I'm A.J. Brown. I got pink cleats on. You can't miss me. Everybody on the field can see that he's open. Everybody. I mean, I have not ever watched a game when I'm looking at that TV screen and I'm saying, what is he doing? How are you missing him? And it's not just Brown, but listen, forget the other guys. Next to A.J. Brown, those guys are paupers. And that includes Devontae Smith, who's awesome, but he's not in the same class as A.J. Brown. If I'm the quarterback, I am saying, where's 11? Where's the pink cleats? I'm looking for you. He's got one-on-one the first drive of the game. And Brown is wide open, and he dumps it off to Dotson? You're going to tell me you're not taking a shot with Brown down the seam of the field in a one-on-one? You're going to throw the ball to Dotson, for God's sakes? There was multiple times in that game where he has Brown streaking down the field one-on-one. I don't get it. I don't get it. And a lot of these times, look, I think in a lot of these games, the passing game, there's been the big play. He hit him down the field. You get a 40-yard touchdown. You get a 30-yard touchdown. You get the big play. And, it kind of cools everything off. And that's the most bizarre thing about this passing game. The big play is there. It's the short game that they just can't get going. And that's the one they need to get up and down the field. That's the one they need that when they're not running the ball, or if someone's going to take the running game away, or whatever happens, Barkley gets hurt, God forbid. You've got to be able to say, hey, 1, 2, 3, bang, 1, 2, 3, bang, 1, 2, 3, bang, 6 yards, 4 yards, 7 yards, make a guy miss, slip out of a tackle, move the sticks, get a first down. This offense should be easy. This is easy. I mean, I'm no play designer, but for God's sakes, I don't need to watch the All-22 this week to see guys open. This is the offense. Barkley, slants, play action, deep shots, middle seams to the tight end, rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat the whole night. Like Army, Navy, the Delaware Wing T. They have 4 plays in their playbook. They run them all day long. Figure out how to stop them. That's the Eagles' offense. I'll give you 4 plays. You give me 4 plays and tell me it's Tecmo Bowl, and I'll come up with 4 plays with this group, and you can't stop me. That's all I need, a Tecmo Bowl. I need a Tecmo Bowl playbook for the Eagles. That's all I need. 3 runs to Barkley and 1 pass pattern. You give me that, Tecmo Bowl it, and I'll figure out a way to score 35 points a game with this offense. Come on, this is a joke that this was the game they had yesterday against the worst rushing offense in the league, defense in the league, and the worst passing defense in the league. 609-403-0973. 609-403-0973. That's the text board. You can jump in. Let me know. Does this game open some eyes? Is this just, hey, it was a bad game, move on, move past it? What do you guys have to add to that as we start on a Monday?
To me, Mike, that was very well said. My biggest concern now is, can this passing game get better? Or is this what we're working with, that when the running game doesn't get going, or again with the slow starts, 17 points in the first quarter the entire season, that is not fixable. To me, 14 weeks of that's not going to get any better. That's just who they are. And Jalen Hurts was asked about that in the press conference yesterday after the game, and he kind of just shrugged his shoulders and said, yeah, tell me something that I don't know.
Yeah, no answer for the slow start.
No answer.
Which, by the way, what kind of answer do we expect? I mean, really, what do we want the guy to say other than we just haven't scored in the first quarter? Why?
Now,
I don't know the answer to that.
Some people don't think that's a big deal. Some people don't have a problem with it. They've won 9 in a row.
It's hard to have a problem with it when the results are what the results are. But
right,
at what point is that going to be the thing that holds you back?
Now, we've seen Kansas City. They play these close games all year long. They haven't been held back at all, but will that catch up to them?
Well, I think the Kansas City thing's interesting because Kansas City gets the benefit of the doubt because they're Kansas City. If they were just a regular team without Super Bowl history,
right,
Patrick Mahomes, I think we would all be saying, I don't really believe in that team. And quite frankly, I think people are starting to flip over to, I don't really take Kansas City all that seriously as the best team. They're going to be a playoff team, obviously.
The 1 seed probably with the Bills' loss yesterday.
It's wild, too. It's wild.
Going back to the Eagles, I don't think that this passing game, you can just reach in your back pocket and go to it in a time of need. That's my concern, is going forward. Can you reach into your back pocket and go to this passing game when you desperately need it?
The concern for me in the passing game is a little different than can I go into my back pocket when I need it. I think Jalen Hurts can throw the ball down the field and connect for the big play. My concern is, can he move the change? Because I can't rely on the big play every single week when I get to the playoffs. I can rely on the big play when I'm playing Carolina and I'm playing Washington and I'm playing Cleveland and I'm playing Cincinnati. Those teams defensively are just not very good. So I can rely on the big play and connect on them against those teams. But when I get to the playoffs and the game's close and the game's a shootout and it's back and forth, Can I rely on the big play in those moments? And there are the times that I have a little bit of a problem. I want to see more fluidity in the passing game in terms of the small stuff, the short stuff. Everything they do in the passing game, it's either a home run or nothing. I want to see 1, 2, 3, 6 yards. Bang. 1, 2, 3, drop back, 7 yards. Make the guy. Every week I say this. A.J. Brown, you think there's a corner in this league that wants to come up and try to tackle that big dude? No way.
Is that coaching then? Are they coaching Jalen so much saying, don't turn the ball over and we win? It's that simple. Is he gun shy? Does he not pull the trigger because it's been coached into him to take care of the ball?
I'm wondering if he's just, if he's so gun shy at this stage that he is so concerned about turning the ball over that he's thinking so much. But I don't understand. What is he missing? There's nobody around these guys. It's not like these guys are like, hey, they've got like leverage and you've got to make a perfect throw. These guys are so open that he just has to throw it in the vicinity and he's okay.
The one check down to Dotson in the first series of the game.
It's horrible.
That's Exhibit A. Yeah.
That was horrible. And he had multiple times where that happened. The throw where he throws it high for Calcaterra. Now he throws it over Calcaterra, who's 6'6", by the way. He throws it high on him. And on that play, he doesn't have to even throw it to Calcaterra. The play is open. There's a wide open A.J. Brown on that play. I'm perplexed at this team. Yesterday won the game, and I don't care that it was an ugly win against Carolina. That I don't care about. Okay, you don't play well every week. You just don't. And if you can find a way to escape when you don't have your best and you're in kind of a trap game situation, I talked about this Friday. After the Lions won, are you a little bit kind of like, oh, man, that was our shot. And, they win that game. We really thought they could have lost that game and our chances get like, okay, that's all human nature. You don't play your best every single game. It happens all over the league every single week. So I don't care that they won 22-16. What I care about is the meat on the bone that you left on the offensive on the field is way too much on Sunday. It's way too much. And then forget it. Okay, he had a bad game. Fine, you have a bad game. But when the bad game led to bad body language, and it almost felt like the team had no joy in the fact that they won that game, that's the concern that I have. Because now you have A.J. Brown saying, we can't throw the ball. I don't care that we're 11-2. This team's not good enough.
Is when he says that one word, passing, is he referring to Jalen Hurts
Absolutely.
or coaching?
I think he's referring to the quarterback. I think he's referring to the quarterback. I think he's saying, what's wrong with this offense? Passing. Not good enough.
4 targets for him is unacceptable in a regular season game against Carolina.
Josh, what do we got?
On the text board, Mike in Wildwood chimes in and says, Mike, I have one thing to say. Jalen Hurts is petrified to turn the ball over. Saquon could have had an even better game yesterday if AJ gets 10 targets and Smith gets 7.
Could be. I mean, I'm not going to say he's wrong about that. I think Mike in Wildwood is probably, if you were to say, give me your hypothesis on what's happening here, my best hypothesis would be either A, he's not seeing the field, he can't see over the offensive line, or he's afraid to turn the ball over. There's the one that Calcaterra, by the way. We're at the Fanatics Sportsbook, and they're showing a lot of these Hurts misses. And this one here is awful, where he takes the sack on third down.
That was weird. That I didn't understand.
He said that it was an RPO, and I mean, it was just a weird excuse. He played terrible
because
yesterday.
they would have gotten a flag for a legal man
downfield. Yeah, because it was an RPO. There was he said that if he would have thrown it, but fine, throw the ball.
So instead of taking a 5-yard penalty, he takes a 10-yard
if
sack.
you take a 5-yard penalty, at least you get the down over again.
Right. Instead, he loses the down and loses 10 yards.
Yeah,
11 yards.
Awful.
Yeah.
What else we got, Josh? I'm sorry, my laptop is not powering on for whatever reason. My charger is not working, so I have right now no laptop. So I am out in the dark.
Well, I'll give you some more text here at 609-403-0973. Cole from LBI says, Jalen Hurts has not regressed. He's the same guy he's always been. He's an RPO quarterback that can throw the deep ball well. The offensive line of A.J. Brown and Saquon will carry him. That's from Cole and LBI.
I don't know, man. I mean, we watched this guy have a tremendous year. What do we make of that?
Well, what I make of it personally, Mike, is that I've said this numerous times to you, and you can tell me how you feel about this. But this guy's had 2 great years in his life, 2019 and 2022. Both years, and John McMullen's pointed this out multiple times. Both of those years, Jalen had the quickest passes out of his hand, time-wise. He held the ball less both of those years. To me, there's a pattern here. The pattern is that when you ask the guy to throw quick passes and make quick decisions, he has great years. When he doesn't, he's what you saw yesterday.
Well, can we ask the question of, has the league figured him out? Have they caught up to him? Is that something? Because these are plays that he made before.
Right. And on the first series, that play to A.J. Brown, is that his first read, or does he have to process that and then get to A.J.? Because to me, that's his first read.
That's a great question. That's a great question, because remember, if you go back to 2022 and 2019, 1 year with the Eagles, 1 year when he was the Heisman Trophy winner and runner-up, his whole offensive game plan was option 1, option 2, get the ball out of your hand. So are they asking him to process too much?
Why does he check the ball down to Jahan Dotson then?
I don't. This offense to me looks very elementary. This doesn't seem to be a whole heck of a lot of reading going on here. People act like, he's looking at his first guy, then he's scanning the field. I don't feel like there's a whole heck of a lot of nuance to this offense. It's, find 11.
I think he's gun shy. I think he wants to take care of the ball because they've coached it. They've coached that into him the entire season, and it's been working to his credit, to their credit.
And this is where, they run the ball so well and so much that I think A.J. Brown brought this up yesterday, but I think it's fair to even ask for Jalen Hurts. He can't get into any rhythm throwing the ball either because he throws so infrequently.
Right.
So, like when you have the 2-minute drill, like you get up on the ball and you kind of 1, 2, 3, bang, 1, 2, 3, bang, up on the ball. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. You get like a timing, and that's why those 2-minute drills seem to work all the time. And people are like, well, why don't teams do that all game long? Because you look like you're in much better rhythm when you're just like not even thinking about it and everything's just really basic. That is when you question, well, you only thrown a ball 18 times. He doesn't get a chance to really get into that like pattern or that rhythm and kind of get a connection going. So when he gets asked to throw as infrequently as he does, he's got to be almost perfect when he does it in those instances where they're like, hey, we're going to throw the ball right here. But because we're throwing the ball right here, it better be right. It's almost like you tell the kid, I'll let you do it, but if you don't do it right, this is the last time I'm going to let you do it.
But, Michael, you mentioned earlier about the slant routes. You saw yesterday when they ran the slant routes, Hurts is getting the guys perfectly. So why don't they run more of those? Why do they keep running these deep
That's the
comebacks?
perplexing. Yeah, but here's the thing. You're right about that. There's a couple times when they do run it that it works, and you're like, why don't they run that more? But they do run it more. He doesn't throw it. That play is there for them all day long. Now, I don't think they run it even enough, but there are times where A.J. Brown.
And their run game and their offensive line, we're not asking Hurts to be Kurt Warner, to Peyton Manning, in their prime. We're just asking him to really just be able enough to go to the passing game when you need it.
Yesterday was the one game this year. Now, there's some times when you're like, he had that throw, it wasn't there. Yesterday was the first game of the season where I was like, he missed guys all day long, and it was unacceptable. And if that's the way it's going to be moving forward, there's your limitation.
And he does make plays with his legs. That 35-yard run, that was a good time to run the ball.
That's a trade-off.
That helps.
That's the trade-off sometimes. He makes plays that others can't make, and then he's not making plays. Like Bryce Young yesterday, I thought he had a pretty decent game. He threw the ball, let guys open, had guys, hitting them in their breaks, and you're like, this kid can read. He looked like a quarterback. Bryce Young looked like a quarterback yesterday. The coach said, 1, 2, 3, throw it. The guy's going to be there.
And that leads you to really the defense kind of had an off game last night.
We'll get into all that. A.J. Brown's post-game comments Are they concerning? We'll get into that coming up next. Plus, $785 million. That's my new contract. Nope, I'm staying. But somebody got that kind of money. It wasn't me. We'll get into that and more. Phillies signed a closer today. We got the details coming up on the Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. We are at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Monday Night Football tonight. And, of course, all of the winter meetings are happening. And the Eagles, we'll get into them. Sixers. Is Joel Embiid a difference maker? Who would have thunk it? Having Joel Embiid actually help the Sixers. If you weren't watching them yesterday, don't worry. I was flipping back and forth for you.
I checked in.
More Sports Bash coming up.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill
I am the voice of the voiceless.
on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Hi, wrap up your workday with the all-new Chicken and Peas Happy Hour with unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of these medium tender wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth ordering hot cold pork fried shrimp, plus $3 domestic bottle beer, $5 Tito's, $6 sauce. It's all new Happy Hour weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. only at Cheese Peas. Hi, it's Pete Chicken Peas. Now for a limited time. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Buy one, get one free, and enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab. Pair it with our handy, crafty cocktails like the soy vanilla cream trickle or the bourbon peach sweet tea. Top it off with Chicken Peas, famous crab fry. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply only at Cheese.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see your face after accidentally tapping your tail, Mr. Pickles, just kiss his nose. It's a little Mr. Pickles. Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at progressive.com and something with a subject policy terms. If you're home looking for the season, worried about rooms that just won't stay warm this winter, well, June is calling and heating today to ask about the new energy efficient system from the American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a new system with generous financing options through South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric, plus additional savings through rebates from your local utility companies. Upgrading your system could also help lower your utility bills. Call Jenkins today or visit Jenkins and
what if you could hear your favorite song for the first time? Introduce the all reimagined Nissan Kicks with an available Bose Personal Plus sound system and uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at NissanUSA.com today.
Hi, I'm Dan Tracy. I'm a workers' compensation attorney. At Goldenberg Mackler, we've handled thousands of workers' compensation claims over the years. Our experienced attorneys understand the law and will fight to get you the benefits that you deserve. When injured at work, make the right call to Goldenberg Mackler. Call us at 609-344-7131. That's 609-344-7131. Or visit us online at gmslaw.com.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities. So it puts less stress on our household and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! 'Tis the season for your business to grow going into 2025. But how? SnapShotMyBusiness.com gets you a snapshot of your online reputation, so you know what's being said about your business, naughty or nice. Have you looked? With your free snapshot from SnapShotMyBusiness.com, you'll find the people being naughty or nice about your business. Then fix your online reputation this holiday. snapshotmybusiness.com.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm Dr. Caitlin Baston, New Jersey's health commissioner. As a physician and a mother, I know the importance of vaccines. They protect us all from serious illness. With your kids in school, help them stay healthy and ready to learn. Get them vaccinated against COVID, flu, and other preventable diseases. Set a date today. Learn more at nj.gov/health/vaccines.
Ow! Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door,
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your luxury BMW experience is closer than you think. Take advantage of exceptional savings at BMW of Atlantic City. Stop in and shop your favorite models, including the new BMW 2 Series, X3, and more. We're sure to have a vehicle that fits your needs. And with Acceleride, purchase your vehicle online and we'll deliver it directly to you. Looking to trade? We'll pay top dollar for your current vehicle. Experience luxury today at BMW of Atlantic City, closer than you think, in Egg Harbor Township. Shop our complete inventory online at bmwatlanticcity.com.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
This isn't the first time that AJ has been emotional about things. I think that's his personality. I believe it is where his emotions on his sleeve, his friendship with Jalen. So I don't think that it's a massive issue, but we did see it kind of deteriorate last year. So I'm not saying it's going to again. They're winning. They won on the run game and the defense, but this isn't necessarily abnormal from AJ Brown.
Dan Orlovsky said he's not all that concerned from hearing from AJ Brown after the game, and essentially saying the passing game is a problem. Is this the first crack in the armor, Mike McGarry, or is it just frustrating game against a bad team that you expected to do more against? You watch that game, you hear everything post game. Do we get a little concerned about? Is this the first domino? When you watch that game yesterday, Mike, obviously the passing game is not where it needs to be in terms of A.J. Brown's open. I mean, there's plays to be made in the pass game. So is that Jalen Hurts? Is that the coaching? Have they coached him so much that he's afraid to make mistakes? Why is Bryce Young, 1, 2, 3, bang, 1, 2, 3, there you go, 1, 2, 3. I mean, the lowest level quarterback in this league can hit a little slant across the middle there. I mean, that's an easy throw, yet it's the one throw that seems to elude this team. What's in your mind, the messaging from both Brown and Smith, who kind of sound frustrated after the game yesterday? What's the problem with the offense? Passing. I mean, pretty quick, pretty short, pretty concise. Yeah, pain. That's true. That is true, Mike. That's the thing is, yes, I agree with you. The more you run it, the less you pass it. But when they do choose to pass it, especially yesterday was the first time when I was like, man, this guy's missing guys all over the field. I mean, these guys are open, and he's just not pulling the trigger. But it's almost like, hey, if you're only going to throw it 20 times, you better make the most of those 20. And yesterday it felt like this was the receiver saying, you're already not giving me a lot of targets. And now when you're asking it, now he's not even throwing it my way. Like, come on, we're only going to throw the ball 20 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it felt like the frustration of, hey, it's cool. We're only throwing the ball 18 times, but I'm getting 5 or 6 of them. But yesterday, it felt like the culmination of we're only throwing the ball 20 times, and you're missing me on some of those 20 now. Yeah. Mike McGarry for the Press of Atlantic City. The Eagles win yesterday 22-16. It's an ugly game against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers have been playing better. If Leggett makes that catch, who knows what we're talking about here. But at the end of the day, we're looking at this Eagles' lack of ability to make plays in the pass game. And you said it. It's not that they can't make plays in the pass game. They're fine throwing the ball down the field. They can hit the big play. But it's that short passing game that moves the sticks that they seem to be having some trouble with here. And is that more on Jalen Hurts, or is that more on the play caller, or is that more on the play design? Or is this ultimately going back to the quarterback is not playing well enough? Yeah, 14-21, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did get sacked 4 times in the game. He ran 8 times for 59 yards and a touchdown. So he accounted for 3 touchdowns in the game yesterday. What'd you think of their defense yesterday? Only 16 points, but was there some concerns about the defense yesterday? Yeah, I can get behind that too. Look, I think the Lions winning Thursday, and then beat Baltimore. You got Pittsburgh next week. I think it was human nature to kind of have a little bit of an overlook in this situation, and they just did not play their best game yesterday. There's no question about that. The one thing you look at too is moving forward here. You got 4 games left, and you got this whole thing with Barkley going for the record. He breaks the single team record for a season yesterday as well. I don't imagine there's going to be an opportunity for them to say, you know what, we're going to have to dial up like 30, 35 passes in a game and see if we can get some fluidity from Jalen Hurts and see if we can kind of get some sort of chemistry, right? I mean, that's just not the way this is going to happen. All right, Mike McGarry, we'll flip over to some winter baseball, hot stove league. The winter meetings are underway. The Mets are the big winners. Juan Soto, he'll be there when he's 41 years old, and maybe Team Ed will get the last laugh. But now the Mets are gloating. How has this changed the NL East? All right, so the Mets get Soto, about almost $800 million there, and we'll get into what that means a little bit later. Jordan Romano signs with the Phillies. He is a closer from Toronto. Did not have a good 2024. Very good in 2023 and 2022. They could lose Estevez. They could lose Hoffman, so Romano is signed now. He could potentially be the closer, but we'll see if Dave Dombrowski has some things up his sleeve. Winter meetings underway, so keep it locked for that. Let's go over to the Sixers real quick. Does Joel Embiid really make a difference? It's the perfect Mark Zumoff. Some nights it's garbage, and other nights it's gold. Garbage into gold. Sixers won. Joel Embiid, you're right. He started the game like 0 of 8 from the field, and then he just cranked it up and was unstoppable in that second quarter. And the Sixers have won 4 out of 5, by the way. Embiid back. They don't play again until Friday, so you would have to imagine Embiid should be good to go on Friday. We'll keep our eye on that as well. All right, busy weekend. Eagles win ugly. Giants, tough day at the office yet again. Yep. All right, Mike McGarrett, AC.com here on the Sports Pass, live on a Monday on a busy weekend. Thanks, Mike. All right, good breakdowns, good thoughts. Your thoughts on the Eagles, their loss. React to your text messages coming up. Plus, grades. The day after presser from Nick Sirianni at 3:30 today. Sal Paolantonio tonight at 5 o'clock right here on the Sports Pass, 97.3 ESPN. Live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedor bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
All along goes Meacham. In on Bennington, back in. He scores! He does it again!
It's Flyers Blue Jack tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Flyers hockey all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey, 97.3 ESPN.
Go for holiday bliss. Whether naughty or nice, you are not going to want to miss this. With friends, go to see that smiling face. Go to the gift to cheer. With the card that feels dreams with endless fun to do. Always the gift that keeps life today too. Go for the dazzling news. It's in the seat. Go to Ocean Casino.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is introducing a lot more with new unlimited data. Please be sure to fix up that hoping this holiday schedule. Protecting weather and wealth with the crowd wedding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes givers begin. No way! Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
If you or someone you know needs help going through a difficult time, start with MJ211. When you reach out to 211, we can connect you to help with housing, utilities, food, childcare, senior services, income support, healthcare, legal issues, and more. Help is available in over 150 languages, and the service is free, confidential, and available 24/7. Need help? Dial 211, text 898-211, or search nj211.org.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals. Winter is approaching. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to expert for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor, serving South Jersey for over 110 years. Visit CalviElectric.com today and stay ahead of any storm.
The holiday is coming quick. If you're looking for a perfect gift that will impress, put Tupelo honey under the tree. It's luxury honey from right here in the U.S. True Tupelo honey is only found in Northwest Florida and is only harvested 2 weeks a year. At Smiley Honey, we're shipping all over the country with guaranteed delivery in time for Christmas. Tupelo honey is sweeter, lighter, and healthier, and it doesn't crystallize. SmileyHoney.com to order today. Tupelo honey, the gold standard of honey.
Happy Honda Days are here at Boardwalk Honda. With over 200 new Hondas in stock and more arriving daily, it's the perfect time to find your next car. Right now, enjoy huge savings off MSRP on select models and enjoy interest rates as low as 0.9% APR. Financing for up to 60 months on the new 2024 Honda Prologue. But don't wait. Happy Honda Days won't last forever. Don't miss out. Stop by today or visit them online at HondaBoardwalk.com. That's HondaBoardwalk.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention, which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and a scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you ready for a breakfast game changer? Discover Hot Bagels and More with locations in Margate, Northfield, Summers Point, and Atlantic City. They serve hot, fresh bagels crafted daily in a variety of flavors that will keep you coming back for more. Don't miss their homemade tuna and chicken salads along with delicious soups. Plus, check out their lunch specials and party platters. Perfect for gatherings and holiday meetings. Swing by Hot Bagels and More and experience the bagel game changer today. Visit hotbagelsandmore.com or stop in today.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And it just keeps getting better.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, welcome back to Sports Bash Live. Fanatic Sportsbook and Gallery Bar Booking Games. Monday Night Football tonight. At nothing else, right? Those six are up on Friday.
Right.
Flyers.
Right.
Flyers tomorrow, play tomorrow night, and then Thursday night, and then they have an afternoon game on Saturday. Flyers lost the game up the other day against Boston.
And then last night, too, they just didn't have enough Utah. So, right out of the spot. Yeah, Flyers coughing up to Boston. Tortorella not too happy about this.
Was he not having the Flyers penalties or the other team?
He was complaining about his own team, the ref, the other team. Then he benched one of his best players.
Yep.
I don't really understand that. Well, I mean, Konechny's got to be more. Well, that's the thing. The fork in the road is: are you trying to build a culture, or are you trying to win? Culture.
Well, resulted in 2 losses.
There you go.
Kevin Durso's 3 stars in the game brought by Kindle Auto, Stone Harbor Boulevard, Cape Courthouse. On Saturday, he went with Beachcomb, Sanheim, and Cam York in the game against Bolton. Beachcomb had the first 2 goals of the game. I was listening to the game on the radio. It sounded like a party. You know, this guy's unbelievable, blah, blah, blah. And then they lost. And then yesterday, you lose to freaking Utah. Give me 2. 3 stars in the game. Owen Tippett, Dick Sealer, and Joel Farabee, by the way. You get the 3 stars in the game on our website, 97.3 ESPN.com.
Kevin Harlan here for Monday Night Football on Westwood One. As the Bengals take on the Cowboys, Joe Burrow and Cincinnati have a top 5 scoring offense. Now they travel to Dallas to take on a resurgent Cowboy team. Don't miss it on Monday Night Football.
Listen to Monday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit AceHardwareHomeservices.com to book today. I need a new car under 20 grand. Okay. Well, what's my trade? You know what? I'm going to Matt Black Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Under 20 grand. Kia, just 19.99 with any space. That's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a long release. Kia wants to get you released. Your new Kia is 0 down, 0 payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Black Kia in stock. So bring any trades because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
That Kia 6211 Black Horse Fight. Hardwood Airship. Route 37 Tom's River.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had an open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got Soto. GoodRx saved me a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-$300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities. So it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx fees are compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Winter is approaching. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Kelvy Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Kelvy Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 110 years. Visit CalvyElectric.com today and stay ahead of any storm.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available when prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional prescription at LifeMD.com. We all warnings before using GLP-1. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid supplements. Do not use GLP-1 if your family has history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost hundreds of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com to get your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility in minutes. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shots because it feels like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise and on from 237 to 195. This was life altering, and I can do it. Anybody.
Get started right now with your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility for coverage in minutes at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. The Nizam's Indian Restaurant on Route 40 in Egg Harbor Township is ready to serve you delicious Indian dishes. NJ.com ranked them as the number 2 best restaurant in all of New Jersey. And this just in. It's their Eagles football special. Your table receives free tandoori, spicy chicken wings, if the Eagles win for dine-in customers only. Join them for a special lunch buffet, Fridays through Sundays from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Visit thenizam.com for more information.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first before posting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try.
You didn't check the propane? Who wants to? Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that can save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you. Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, here's Mike Gill.
What are some things you think maybe that the offense needs to improve on? Passing.
AJ, I know everybody wants to get in a rhythm. And Devontae was acknowledging that. You know, receivers, just like running backs, want to get in rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly so.
That question was Scott Grayson about how difficult it was to get into a rhythm. And as you heard A.J. Brown say, incredibly tough. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. We're live at the Fanatic Sportsbook. It's time for Grayson's Grades, another edition Grayson has to say about this edition of The Grades. They're brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call. With 4 convenient locations to serve you online, gmslaw.com. Let's start, Scott, with the question you asked A.J. Brown. Give us a sense of the frustration you had around not only your question, the fact that 11-2, 9 straight wins, that he has to answer these questions.
Here's the first thing I want to say about it, because you hear a piece of it, and I asked, Devontae Smith was the same way, by the way, for the most part when we talked to him. Both guys were kind of short. They were kind of letting the media ask the question so as to say maybe what they were thinking without them saying it. And I think that's where it's at. And I don't think they're complaining, because I also asked both guys, have you expressed these concerns to Kellen Moore? They both said yes. And then I said, and how did it go? And they both said very well. Not a complaint about the play calling. I feel like it's more a complaint about the execution. And so I think it's important for everybody to understand in the context of all this, because I think A.J. Brown gets vilified a little too much in terms of he's complaining, he's not getting the ball, he's not happy. He said, too, like, we're running the ball well. We understand that. I think the frustration is when they're open, Jalen is not getting them the ball. And we've all seen it over the last, throughout the season, right? There's times where you could say, oh, I think AJ was open on that play, or Devontae looked open on that play, or Dallas Goedert looked open on that play, and Jalen misses him. So I think there's growing frustration with the fact that these guys are saying, hey, we're open. And Jalen is whether it's the pressure that's getting to him or he's just looking to run instead of keep his eyes downfield once he breaks the pocket, somewhere in there is the issue. So I think that's where it's at. And I just think body language, I know this is the radio, so you really can't see it. But the body language from both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, when he answered that question I asked him, incredibly tough, and he kind of smirked, and it was as if to say, all we want is just to try to get into a rhythm.
I was going to say, did you get the sense in the back and forth, and there was other questions that kind of, what's the problem? Passing. You get the sense he's frustrated with Hurts, or is he frustrated with the offense that gives him so few opportunities?
I think he's frustrated with Hurts because, look, A.J. Brown, we all know, feels he's open on every play. He says he's always open, and that's fine. I love that attitude about a receiver. I think, like I said, I think his frustration is when he's open, not being given the ball. He was perhaps more wide open on the touchdown, I believe, to Calcaterra than Calcaterra was. Jalen went there. And listen, they scored the touchdown. Nobody's going to complain about that. It's an example. There was specifically an example I remember where Jalen dropped back, and there was pressure to his right. He kind of danced around it, looped back around it to go back out the pocket to the right. And there was a point in time, AJ was running a post corner. He had done the post, was breaking towards the corner. It was open. Hurts did not throw the ball. Instead, he ran. And there's times where that's okay. And I think I would love to see them adopt the philosophy of, if Jalen escapes the pocket up the middle, run. If he escapes it out the side, extend the play. How many times do we see? You could see it yesterday in the Vikings game. Sam Darnold kept his eyes downfield after he evaded pressure. His receiver, Justin Jefferson, had broken off his route and was wide open. He had his eyes downfield, and he found him for a 52-yard touchdown. That's what I think these guys are saying is, listen, when it breaks down, keep your eyes downfield. We're trying to help you, and that's not there. They feel open in those moments, and that's where Jalen's missing them. And I think that is the frustration that we're at this point.
Well, even Bryce Young, I mean, it's almost as if he's being told, 1, 2, 3, throw it, the guy's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are times where 1, 2, 3, he just lets it go. There's Adam Thielen. And Thielen, his back is to him. But when he turns around, the ball's there to meet him. And it's almost like the coach just says, just throw it. It's not your fault. But because of the turnovers that Hurts has had, it feels that he is a little afraid of firing balls if the window's not wide open. I thought yesterday was really a game where he missed multiple guys open multiple times on elementary throws. 1, 2, 3, get it out. I thought it was one of the worst days in terms of Now, at the end of the day, he didn't turn it over. He had 3 touchdowns. He had a couple big runs. But I thought the game had the ability. There were so many plays to be made that he did not make yesterday.
Totally agree. And the one thing that you're not seeing lately is the downfield shots as well. And I think that is where there's frustration as well with the receivers. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think he's missing guys. I think those reads, he's taking too long with his reads. We've talked about that before. I think we're reaching the point where we're saying some of the same things when we criticize Jalen Hurts, where you have to go, okay, he's had different coaches. He's had different coordinators, but the problems are all remaining roughly the same. So then you say, okay, it's not the teacher, it's got to be the pupil. And I think that's where you look at Jalen Hurts and you have to say, you got to find a way to figure this out, to speed up the process of finding your reads. He takes too long looking at one read. By the time he goes to the next one, he's starting to feel pressure. He's lucky if he gets through 2 reads.
And that's the thing. By the way, Scott, you gave him a C in the game, and I think that's, perfect score. He made some plays, the run. He made had a couple touchdown passes. You talked about it. Both touchdown passes, he threw it to the guy who was less open. I mean, Brown is so open on the play, and then Brown gets himself crushed. He crosses. He's wide open. He doesn't even get the fruits of the labor. He gets smoked on the play, and Smith scores a touchdown. But on both touchdowns, there was a guy that was more open, both times Brown, by the way, that ended up, so the C, I think, is warranted. You wonder, though, you were in that locker room. Do you feel that this is something that stews over, or is it just, hey, we know we didn't play well and we're frustrated about it?
Yeah, I talked about it last night on TV. I don't think this is a 5-alarm fire. I don't think this is a time for everybody to go, oh, AJ's unhappy, Devontae's following suit, this is a cancer, blah, blah, blah. No, that's what I'm trying. I don't feel this is that. This is guys seeing that they need to run the ball to win the game, but they need to also be able to move the chains, maybe is a better analogy, with the pass. And it's got to play a role in their success. You cannot sustain victories passing for 100 yards in a game. When you take the sacks out of it, they passed for 83 yards yesterday. That's not sustainable. Now, you mentioned it earlier, and I think this might be in Jalen's head to an extent. I think he was told at some point, listen, if you don't turn the ball over, we will win games. Okay, well, now it's gone to the extreme of he's too afraid to turn it over, that he's too afraid to give guys a shot downfield or to throw it if he doesn't feel 100% confident that it's there. I admire that to an extent because the turnovers were the reason they were losing early in the season. However, you've got to find that happy medium. And where I go even further to kind of maybe help this with the receivers, look, you have a scripted 15 plays. Every offensive coordinator does. If there's anything that comes out of the conversations that Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown said they had with Kellen Moore, I think it has to be in those first 15 plays, you get A.J. a touch, you get Devontae a touch. That way they at least have a catch early in the game instead of going, oh, A.J. Brown caught his first pass, late in the second quarter. That's also not a good way to try to win a game, I think, when you have that kind of talent. So I think somewhere they all have to find, and I think this was AJ and Devontae calculating and saying together, we have to raise our voice a little bit because we have 4 regular season games left to fix this before it really starts counting, and we're playing for the ultimate goals. And that's where I think they're at. I think that I don't want people to think, because my reading of their body language and what they were saying is they weren't whining, they weren't complaining, they were just saying, hey, this is a problem. And to their defense, other guys also cited that. Lane Johnson, and Jordan Mailata were both asked about the passing struggles. They kind of pushed off on a little bit. They're like, well, we're just trying to block and we're not paying too much attention to what's happening downfield. But as they go through their film today and tomorrow, they're going to see, everybody sees it on these film sessions. There's openings, there's plays that are there to be made, and he's not making them. And I think this week against the Steelers, more than probably any other week in recent memory, including Baltimore, they're going to need to be able to move the ball down the field through the air to help take off some of that pressure that I expect Pittsburgh to be able to put on Saquon.
Well, and then, you gave Kellen Moore a C as well, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on, we're talking about Hurts, we're talking about the passing game. What kind of role does Kellen Moore have in the problems this passing game is having?
Well, that's right. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the opening script needs to be a little bit better. One thing I like that Kellen has done that I have seen, I can't confirm this, but what my eyes tell me, early in the season, Jalen was changing a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage on the opening drive in the first quarter. That seems like they took that freedom away from him so that they could play the chess game of figuring out what the opponent is doing to them, and that is going on. These offensive linemen have told me. Every team, they study the film on these guys to see how they're playing the run, what they can try to do to exploit. And then they come into these games because Saquon has been so special this year, they'll throw them something they haven't seen. So it takes a drive or two to kind of analyze and play that chess game of, okay, this is what they're trying to do to us. Now we can counter that with some adjustments. And so Jalen isn't really changing plays anymore at the beginning of games, which I think is helping Kellen Moore. I just want to see Kellen Moore script a few more, like I said, of those quick slants to A.J. Brown, a Devontae Smith out, maybe a screen pass to Saquon out of the backfield early. Get that ball going in the air a little bit and help Jalen maybe build a little confidence getting rid of it, and then go from there. So that's where I kind of see Kellen's role. But I feel like for the first time in a while, Mike, I feel like Kellen Moore, his offense is somewhat handicapped. Jalen's lack of the ability to see those guys downfield. And you have to ask yourself, if you're Kellen Moore, how do you try to fix that? Because it's really Jalen who's got to fix it.
Yeah. Scott Grayson's grades, of course, Scott Grayson from Fox 29 and Grayson's grades on our website, 973ESPN.com. You gave Jake Elliott a D, and normally you don't talk much about the kicker. But I want to talk about his D and how it's affected Nick Sirianni getting a C potentially in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what happened late in that game, I think because Jake missed the 52-yard field goal, it led to a 53-yard attempt that could have extended the lead to 9 points with a couple minutes left, right? 2-possession game. You go, okay, I'm pretty sure I would kick that field goal with Jake Elliott and given his history. However, this year, he has yet to make a 50-plus yard field goal. I think Nick did the right thing. I was watching Jake Elliott. He was doing all his routines. He was kicking into the net because I was wondering what's Nick going to do if this comes to it. And Jake started to go on the field, and Braden Mann went out because Nick had said to punt. Jake stood there. He took his helmet off, put his baseball cap on. I couldn't read any kind of frustration on him, but I'm sure in his head he had to think, I've got that. He hasn't all season to now. And I think that you have to start wondering, okay, is Jake still that guy from 50-plus? Right now he's got a little case of the yips. He's got the distance on the ball. I mean, his kick was long enough that he missed. It just was wide. So he's still got the leg. He's got that. He's just got to fix, I think, a little bit of confidence issue there. But I think you're right. It affected what Nick decided to do. And by doing that, he put faith in his punt unit. They executed, got the ball down at the 2. And he put faith in his defense to win the game by shutting down Carolina. And it got a little dicey, but ultimately the defense did come through and win the game for them. So you're right. I mean, that Jake Elliott thing is affecting – it's got a ripple down effect, right? They didn't have as comfortable a lead later in the game. They were unable then to decide to go for the field goal at that point and try to extend the lead to 2 possessions. It's affecting a lot, as it did Baltimore with Justin Tucker missing those kicks last week.
Yeah, I mean, because you figure the third down play where Hurts takes that awful sack. Now,
oh, yeah, I didn't even talk about that. You're right.
His explanation was it's an RPO, and I didn't want to throw the ball down the field because we would have had a legal man downfield, which is still better than the sack.
Right. Plus you save the down. you
right,
save
I'm saying,
the down.
you get the down back, and you're only 5 yards back. Instead, you lose the down, and how many yards did you lose on the sack? 8?
9. It was a 9-yard loss.
Yeah. Okay, 9. So
that was a puzzling play, and I there's got to be a teaching moment in there when that comes up with Kellen. Like you know what? He's right. I respect the fact that he thought about not wanting to get the penalty, but you didn't play it through all the way and understand, well, that means you get to replay the down because they're not going to decline it. They're not going to say, no, keep the 5 yards. They're going to take that penalty. He's got to be smarter there.
Yeah, and then, they followed up with no confidence in Hurts to throw the ball there, and then they don't have confidence in Elliott to kick the field goal there. Now, the punt ends up kind of working out, but in the end, the defense almost had a breakdown. I want to get your thoughts. You gave a lot of guys Bs on the defense, but what did you think of the defense as a whole yesterday? 16 points, but this is a porous Carolina team. And they came within a drop pass of going down the field and scoring in a big moment. And, we saw that against Atlanta, and we're like, okay, we really haven't seen it since that Atlanta game. But was yesterday a game that gives you some pause to say, is this defense really what I thought it was?
No, I'm not pushing any kind of panic buttons at all. When you consider the fact that Reed Blankenship was out, you consider the fact that C.J. Gardner-Johnson was in and out occasionally, battling through some things. Darius Slay, I feel, is still not quite 100%. And here's the other thing. Did you hear Quinyon Mitchell's name once yesterday? The Carolina Panthers, I do not believe, threw his direction at all. They went at Slay instead, and they ultimately went after Cooper DeJean with Adam Thielen, which, I did talk to Cooper about that. He said there's a lot to learn, that Thielen showed him a lot. He was such a shifty guy that I think he didn't appreciate just how shifty he could be, and we all know Adam Thielen is like that. So I think, there were some concerns, but there were also lessons learned that I heard instantly after the game. And the fact, too, that back end, not having Reed Blankenship back there, instead Tristan McCollum, who's doing okay, filling in for him, I think that matters.
McCollum, and then Chauncey Gardner went out for a little bit. Maddox had to come in the game. Then Chauncey Gardner came back in the game, ended up getting the interception. It was just overall, they did get a lot of pressure yesterday. I read something. I actually tweeted this out. Earlier, it was a little bit surprising to actually see the stat that, about the amount of pressure. Let me pull it up real quick. About the amount of pressure they got yesterday. Let's see. Where was that? Here we go. Bryce Young was pressured a career high 19 times yesterday. So They got pressure on him. It just didn't seem to, and he was 5 of 14, so with an interception. So I guess it bothered him more than it seemed. I don't know. And I looked at his numbers after the game. I said, man, it seemed like he had a much better game than the numbers suggested.
Well, and you think about the fact, too, that he got lucky, too, right? The 1 4th down pass, 4th and goal, that bounces off, I think, a helmet or whatever it was, and then ends up being caught for a first down.
I think Jalen Carter got his hands on it, tipped it in the air, and he tipped it right to Thielen.
Yep. And so they had luck. That game, I said, I was sitting next to John Clark from NBC, and I said at one point after the missed extra point by the Panthers, I was like, this game feels like it's going to have a wacky ending. It was just one of those games. Are there reasons to be concerned about aspects of it? Sure. They were coming off one of their best games against Baltimore. I think human nature says, it's a 3-9 team, and everybody knows they're better than their record suggests. But still, you go out there, you play that 1 o'clock game. They play, to me, it's a crumble it up, throw away kind of game. You take away from it what you can and learn from it what you can. You hear what was said after the game. You try to build up from that this week. And then you go into the Steeler game looking to play more like you did against Baltimore, right? And then you can show that this was just a one-off. This was just a little bit of a garbage game that they were good enough to win. I'll tell you right now, they would have lost that game probably by double digits last year. So there's the difference there in that they fought through it. They fought through the adversity, and they managed to still get the win. And you can't cast that stuff aside. We all want to see the pretty stuff, and I'm not trying to defend them. It wasn't pretty, but it was still a win. It got them to still keep in on the pressure on the Lions for the 1 seed. They clinched the playoff spot yesterday, and now they're hunting down the division title, which could happen this week. So, I think everybody just needs to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. Certainly, be a little radar up, be a little concerned about some aspects of that game. Look to see how they come back from it, because this is where you look at Nick Sirianni, and you say, as CEO of the football team, right? Everybody said, what's his job? Well, to me, it's rallying these guys back up to play at the level that they had against Baltimore and not that they did against Carolina. And that's what I think will be interesting to judge Sunday against the Steelers.
Scott Grayson's grades are up after every Eagles game at 97.3 ESPN.com, and you can check them out on Fox 29 with more on the Eagles as they get ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we'll have that game for you here on 97.3 ESPN. Scott, good to see you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, you got it, Mike. Take care.
All right, Grayson's grades are brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call. And, of course, they have 4 convenient locations to serve you. Online, gmslaw.com. All right, Mike Gill, the Sports Bash. We're live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino in Atlantic City. And coming up, Nick Sirianni's day after presser. I'm sure he's going to be pressed on. Hey, is there a problem with A.J. Brown? Is there a problem in that locker room? What do you make of it there, Nick Sirianni? You're not going to miss what the head coach has to say. And that's coming up next here on the Sports Bash Live. This hour is brought to you by our friends over at Autumn Lake Healthcare Center, skilled nursing rehab with elite level care in a warm and vibrant atmosphere. Visit autumnlakehealthcare.com to find a location near you. When we come back, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, answers the tough questions, and that's next.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Tired of hearing no? Everywhere you go, we turn no into go during Matt Blatt Nissan's November sales event. Say no to high-priced new cars. No. Brand new Matt Blatt Nissan Sentra S, just $19,999. Say no to low trade offers. No. AJ the Trade Man wants your trade, no matter the make, miles, or condition. Say no to down payments. No. Say no to payments for 90 days. No. No. And say no to high interest rates. No. 60 months, 0% financing by every clearly marked new Nissan. Backed by Matt Blatt's 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Tired of hearing no to a discount on a new ride? No. New 25 Sentra S, under 20 grand.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Approved Tier 1 credit for NEMAC. Negative equity refinance. VIN number SY231649. MSRP $22,730 plus tax tag at $689.98. Offers can't be combined. 0% for 60 months. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Craving a tasty breakfast or lunch? Come on down to Hot Bagels and More. They've got fresh baked bagels, irresistible spreads, and a mouth-watering selection of sandwiches, perfect for any appetite. Join them in Northfield, Atlantic City, Summers Point, and 2 locations in Margate for flavors that keep you coming back. Don't miss their homemade tuna and chicken salad, along with hearty soups. Order ahead or take advantage of their catering options for your next event. Hot Bagels and More, where every bite is a delight. Visit hotbagelsandmore.com or stop in today.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Looking for the perfect RV
RV to hit the open road this fall? Look no further than Hitch RV, your premier RV dealer. They're offering unbeatable pricing during their fall reduction sale on a wide range of RVs, from cozy travel trailers to luxurious motorhomes. Hitch RV is dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and quality RVs. Visit them today at hitchrv.com/Berlin or call 856-629-7400. Hitch RV, your adventure awaits.
Oh, ho, ho, Merry Christmas! 'Tis the season for your business to grow going into 2025. But how? SnapshotMyBusiness.com gets you a snapshot of your online reputation, so you know what's being said about your business, naughty or nice. Have you looked? With your free snapshot from SnapshotMyBusiness.com, you'll find the people being naughty or nice about your business. Then fix your online reputation this holiday. SnapshotMyBusiness.com.
Ho, ho, ho. This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Wrap up your workday with the all-new Chickies and Pete's Happy Hour with unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of Chickies medium tender wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth-watering hot, cold, or fried shrimp. Plus $3 domestic bottled beers, $5 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. It's the all-new Happy Hour, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m., only at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Now, for a limited time, it's buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Buy one, get one free, and enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat. Pair it with one of our handcrafted cocktails like the Stoli Vanilla Creamsicle or the Bourbon Peach Sweet Tea. Top it off with Chickie and Pete's world famous crab fries. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply only at Chickies and Pete's.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Keeping the fans entertained and happy.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, welcome back to the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Every Monday, we're here. We're running out of football season. 4 weeks left to go in the regular season, then the playoffs. Of course, this hour brought by Autumn Lake Healthcare Center, skilled nursing rehab with elite-level care and a warm and vibrant atmosphere. Visit autumnlakehealthcare.com to find a location near you. We're waiting for Nick Sirianni. He was scheduled to go on a couple minutes ago, so he is still not ready to go. Think they got any conversation on, like, hey, you're going to get asked this question. This is how you want to answer it.
I think Big Dom is giving him some practice questions on A.J. Brown.
You think he's the practice guy?
Maybe. Does everything else, yeah.
So we'll have Nick when he is ready. Josh will let me know when Nick is ready to go. We'll have that for you here on the Sports Bash Sal Pal tonight, and we'll talk to him at 5 o'clock here on the Sports Bash. Look, I want to make it clear. Do I think they can win the Super Bowl? Sure. Do I think that they are good enough to win with Jalen Hurts? Absolutely. I'm not sitting here saying they can't win because of Jalen Hurts, but if they don't win right now, what's the reason? Is it because their defense isn't good enough? No. Is it because they can't run the ball? No. It's if they need to turn the page to another thing, right now Jalen Hurts can do it. But he's got to be able to consistently do it. And yesterday was a day that if I'm a team and I'm watching the Philadelphia Eagles and I'm saying, what did Carolina do? I'm not getting anything from what Carolina did. I'm not getting anything from, oh, Carolina did this. They took this away, and we can try to follow their blueprint. It wasn't what Carolina did yesterday. It's what Jalen Hurts didn't do. And that's why they scored 22 points in a game where they probably should have scored 42 points.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they were always going to beat Carolina. It's just how they did it. But time's running out. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be week 17, week 18, and the number 2 seed is going to be locked up. I don't see Detroit losing 2 more times in the next 4 games, do you? So that means the 2 seed is probably going to be Philly.
If Detroit loses to the Lions.
To the Bills next weekend.
I mean, if they are the Lions. If they lose to the Bills next week, They have 3 games left. One's against the Vikings. If the Vikings keep winning, and
that's another team to be worried about. We haven't even talked about
what
that.
is the situation? We haven't gone through this. They looked good yesterday, by the way. If Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Detroit all are 15-2, because I think we've all just kind of looked at the Eagles, Lions, and what happens if they end up tied. Well, they all can't be 15-2 because they play
because
each other.
Detroit plays Minnesota, right?
Right. So they can't have a 3-way tie, can they? Unless they all go 15-3.
Yeah, unless something crazy happens and they lose out.
And Detroit plays the Bills this week.
Correct.
They play the Bears somewhere in there, right?
So the way it works is it's Bills, Bears, 49ers, Vikings.
Niners, that's the other team. The Niners looked pretty good yesterday. They whipped the Bears.
Yeah, the Niners decided to wake up for the first time half the season.
And look, if the Niners keep winning, they're going to be in the mix too to keep pressure on. So
that means Philly has to win out. I mean, are we at the point where Philly has to win out?
If they want to be the number 1 seed, I would say they have to win out.
Okay. So now if that's not the case and they're the 2 seed, again, goes back to my original point. Time's running out to get Jalen Wright and to get this passing game on the same page.
Listen, and I don't have a problem with them like, hey, we're going to throw the ball 20 times, and Jalen was 18 of 21, or, he's 15 of 18, or whatever. Like, he's been efficient. He's made the plays that they've kind of asked him to make. Hey, there's a play down the field, make a good throw. Okay, fine. But yesterday was a game that I said there were plays for him to make, and he didn't make them. And some people would argue this is every week. Not necessarily. Not as often as yesterday. Yesterday, I thought he missed a lot of plays. A lot of easy plays. And I'm not talking about big plays. I'm talking about 5-yard slant, 5-yard out, 8-yard out, guys at the sticks, passes open to be made, throws not made, missed a lot. I'll give you another play that actually was one of the biggest plays of the game. He makes a throw to Devontae Smith on the sideline. The bigger place to Calcaterra. Calcaterra's open in the middle of the field, and if he throws it to Calcaterra has more yak yardage. Instead, he throws it to Devontae Smith, who's on the sideline and really can't go anywhere. It ends up being a big play, but the play was to Calcaterra. He missed that one too. All right, the head coach, Nick Sirianni, is at the podium. Here is his day after press conference after the Eagles beat the Carolina Panthers 22-16. Hear it right now on 97.3 ESPN.
Hey, Nick, what's your concern?
Nick Sirianni, a lot of running around in circles, I guess you could say. A lot of things asked that he didn't want to get into. One thing I do want to touch on when we come back in the next hour, we got football at 4 on the way with Jeff Mosher on the other side, so stick around for that. He was asked about too much running the ball bothering Jalen Hurts. Seemed a little annoyed by that question. A terse no was the answer he gave there. We'll get into it more coming up on the other side. Jeff Mosher will give us his thoughts on what he thinks about what he saw in the game yesterday. Was it just a bad day at the office on a 17-week season that, hey, you're not going to have your best every day, or was there something bigger that he takes away from it? Stick around for that. Hey, when we come back, it is football at 4, but we want to thank Autumn Lake Healthcare Center's skilled nursing rehab with elite-level care in a warm, vibrant atmosphere. Visit autumnlakehealthcare.com to find a location near you. I'm Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season Sunday afternoon
at the Link, hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers.
3rd down and 5. Here comes the rush. They've got him! It is Gardner Johnson with the sack.
Eagles Radio Network coverage begins at 3 p.m. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 4:25. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Hi, I'm Larry Mintz. When dealing with a workers' compensation claim, in most cases, the injured worker doesn't get the money they're entitled to. That's why you need the right lawyer. When injured on the job, call us first. We'll speak with you for free and get you all the money and benefits you deserve.
Make the right call to Golden Bird Mackler. Call us at 609-344-7131. That's 609-344-7131. Or visit us online at gmslaw.com.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trade, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trades, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, 24 EV9, $1389 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblattkia.com for complete details, or 888-505-6670. Price includes a cost to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF, rebates and incentives to dealer. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you or someone you know needs help getting through a difficult time, start with NJ211. When you reach out to 211, we can connect you to help with housing, utilities, food, childcare, senior services, income support, healthcare, legal issues, and more. Help is available in over 150 languages, and the service is free, confidential, and available 24/7. Need help? Dial 211, text 898-211, or search nj211.org.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. For a limited time, trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Only at Verizon. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Your luxury BMW experience is closer than you think. Take advantage of exceptional savings at BMW of Atlantic City. Stop in and shop your favorite models, including the new BMW 2 Series, X, X3, and more. We're sure to have a vehicle that fits your needs. And with Acceleride, purchase your vehicle online and we'll deliver it directly to you. Looking to trade? We'll pay top dollar for your current vehicle. Experience luxury today at BMW of Atlantic City, closer than you think. In Egg Harbor Township, shop our complete inventory online at bmwatlanticcity.com.
Go for the magic this holiday season at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Stay in one of their holiday-themed rooms or suites and enjoy a touch of holiday spirit. And for those on the naughty list this year, you can reserve an exclusive suite inspired by the most beloved green Christmas villain of all time. Wake up to stunning ocean views and experience the festive magic that brings the holiday spirit to life. Reserve your holiday escape now at theoceanac.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles,
They've got him! It's a sack!
Sixers,
Oh, baby!
and Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN presents the Sports Bash with Mike Gill. It's time for Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.
Just hungry to bring back another Lombardi to Philly. The fans deserve it. Our team deserves it. Culture begs for it.
Now live, this is Football at 4.
And Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast will join us for today's Football at 4. And just a couple things before we get to Moshe. One, I do want to say this about Jalen Hurts. Why I was very critical and did not think he played well yesterday. I thought that the offensive line was not great yesterday either, and I thought that was a breakdown in some of the plays. You know, the RPO decision, he could throw that away, and I can say, yes, that's his fault. But there was not very good protection on that play, and it was a kind of a split-second thing. Yeah, you want him to throw that away or at worst get the penalty. His split-second decision was a poor one, but it was led to by the fact that their offensive line, I thought, did not have a great day in protection yesterday at some moments. That said, I thought Hurts was probably the worst game that he has played decision-making wise. And Nick Sirianni, you know, we're talking about, or you just heard his press conference, he's talking about not interested in air yards. Well, I'm not talking about air yards. I'm not asking about throws 20 yards down the field. That's not my concern with Jalen Hurts. It's a throw that's 5 yards down the field that I have a problem with. The 20-yard air yard down the field, I don't have a big problem with. It's the one that's 5 yards down the field. You can't just say, hey, the air yards aren't there. I don't know what the air yards has to do with the fact that they have a pitch and catch of 5 yards and they can't make that play. That's the play that I have the problem with.
Jalen was checking it down yesterday, and that was a problem in the game. He was check down Charlie yesterday.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some check down. I mean, there were some. Let's bring Mosher in. I'm going to get his thoughts on this as we get ready for Football at 4 here on the Sports Pass Live on 97.3 ESPN. Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast is here. All right, Mosher, let's get into a couple of things here. Obviously, the pass game after the game questioned by not only media, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith did not seem happy. You just heard from Nick Sirianni not too long ago. He was asked about the air yards, and then I said, I'm not worried about the air yards. This is a simple pitch and catch they can't complete. A 5-yard slant that seemingly is open 75% of the time. Those are the plays that I think were missed yesterday more than anything.
Well, yes, there were. Well, I would say there's some concern on both. I mean, I think it's fair to be concerned about air yards because that's the strength of the Eagles' offense, the ability to put the ball down the field outside the numbers. That's always been one of the most excellent parts of Jalen Hurts' game. I don't know if there's anyone in the league really better at it. And if he's not doing that, which over the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, it feels like there's fewer shots, then that's a concern because, again, that's kind of the bread and butter of your explosive play offense that we would talk about throughout the year when the intermediate passing game wasn't there. But then, yes, I do feel like with the fewer passing and then with stuff that's over the middle or there that he's not pulling the trigger on, combined with not driving the ball down the field, that makes it a tough situation for the offense.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think big picture, I feel better about him. Like, you're not going to have every week, you're not going to hit big plays down the field. You're going to have days where you just aren't, you're not making that throw. But to me yesterday, and look, by the way, I thought there were shots down the field that he also missed. I'll give you 2 examples of things. His biggest play of the day to Devontae Smith, he threw it to the wrong guy. The bigger play was to Calcaterra. Calcaterra is open in the middle of the field who can get more yards after the catch. Now, it turns out to be a big play. There's multiple plays that he actually took a check down to Dotson, and he's got Brown wide open down the field. And you're thinking, Brown's got pink shoes on. You can't miss the guy. How do you check off of 11 to throw to 83? So there were some air yards, big plays that he did not get yesterday. But to me, somebody asked today, I think it was, who was that? Bob Brookover, maybe. Is he still on the beat, Bob Brookover?
Yes, he's back on the beat. Yeah.
Okay. It sounded like him, and his name was Bob. I'm listening on the, hey, Bob, and then Jim, you're up next. Okay. So he asked the best question. A.J. Brown is seemingly open on every play. Yeah. If you watched the game yesterday, he was open every play. And you're like, what are you not seeing here? So yesterday's game was the first time when I was really like, man, he missed a lot of guys open, specifically the best guy.
Yeah. So I have a lot of answers for that. I'll try to work backwards. So your last statement yesterday was the first time. I would say that in my discussions with you, Adam's discussions with you, and what you hear on the Inside the Birds platform is that actually we've seen quite a bit all throughout the year.
Real quick, I do agree that we've seen him miss. Yesterday was perpetual, it felt like.
Yeah, that's fair because they're throwing the ball less now. So the ones that he misses are really more glaring and obvious because, again, you're not seeing the downfield explosive element that kind of covers up that. What you said about the play to Devontae Smith that should have gone to Calcaterra is another example of something we've seen and talked about a lot on Inside the Birds. And it's a difficult conversation to have because we've also talked about this with Greg Cosell, who talks to a lot of coaches as Adam and I do. We ask, what happens when you have a quarterback who doesn't see it the right way, but then freelances and makes a better play out of it? You say, well, good play, Jalen, or good play, quarterback. And I get why a coach would say that because it's a big gain and it helps you. The question you have is the sustainability of it. You don't want a situation where you're passing up a lot of plays and relying on too much off structure to be your game because that stuff can catch up with you. I'm a little concerned about some of his answers and the mindset. The one you mentioned that he checked it down to Dotson when he had A.J. Brown open, and he went through it. Yeah, he went through it really interestingly, saying that J.C. Horn was the cover corner there in a cover 3, and he was sort of falling off, meaning he could have retreated. If Jalen throws the ball, maybe J.C. Horn retreats and makes a play on it, and you don't want to be baited. And if you watch it in slow motion, if you go over it, you can see J.C. Horn, his ass is toward the sideline, and his face is toward Devontae Smith. Yeah, it's not even a bite. It's more like that's his defensive region. So in order for him to make a play on a ball thrown to AJ, a well-thrown ball, which is, again, that's kind of the strength of Jalen's game on that kind of throw, he almost has to completely 180 pivot to be able to even get in the vicinity to be able to make a play on that. And so the question you have to ask is Jalen afraid of that much of throwing an interception because of what happened earlier in the year? Or the way Jalen answered it, he said, yes, I could have alerted on A.J. Brown there, but the read was to Jahan Dotson. So is he being coached now to just go with where the read is and not be a quarterback and go where the opening is? Because that would be a concern too if the coaches are saying, don't even make that throw. I don't know. I have zero idea because none of us do because we're not in the coach's meeting and we're not in the quarterback's brain, but it's alarming if you're passing up those kind of plays because for other reasons or because you think that the corner is going to make a play on that. I mean, you got to trust your A+ elite wide receiver that he's going to make that play as long as you put it close.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because I would say you watch Bryce Young, it almost feels like watching him. Now, he's no elite quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he struggled a lot, but he played. It's funny, the numbers didn't look like he played that well yesterday. What was he, like 18 to 35? But it felt like he made some big throws in big moments to keep the sticks going. And on those plays, it felt like almost Canales is saying, 1, 2, 3, throw it to that guy, and he's going to be open. And it was like very easy stuff. And some of these are like, hey, he's throwing it and the receiver is, not done his break yet. And the ball's hitting him there as he's turning. You very rarely see that type of timing and that type of 1, 2, 3, top of the bang. And I'm like, man, Bryce Young is making a throw, a 7-yard throw where the guy's turning and it's getting to him. And your guy can't make that throw. That is a concerning situation where late in the game, they have a chance to drive down the field and score because he's just doing quick, simple pitches and catches, and you cannot – everything is so clunky when you need fluidity.
100%. And I know the Panthers are kicking themselves today if they're going through, they're in there making corrections, watching the tape, because they had the Eagles offense completely flummoxed, especially the passing offense. And they had the Eagles at a 3rd and 10 in the third quarter. And their pass rushers, their edge rushers, Wanham and I can't remember the other edge rusher's name for whatever. They rushed up the field way too fast. Like, when you're playing against Lamar, which the Eagles did a great job of last week, and when you're playing against Hurts or Josh Allen, you can't really rush full throttle the passer, because then once you get past him, he runs up the middle, right? And whoever it is. And I thought that's where they lost the game, when they let Jalen Hurts run up the middle for 20-something yards. I forget how it was, a huge run on 3rd and long that could have probably been prevented if they just showed a little bit more rush discipline. But that's why they're the Panthers and they're learning how to win. But a veteran team will do a better job. Some of the better teams have been able to take away that inside run from Jalen Hurts that he was doing really well last year, especially at the beginning of the year and the year before. So if they don't get that play, Mike, then we're really talking about some offensive pitfalls, because that led to a touchdown.
Football at 4, Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast. I want to get your take on Elliott's miss and how that affected that whole decision that ends up, turning into the sack. And it was just a mess, but those decisions there, how Elliott impacted that kind of whole sequence.
Yeah, I mean, he's clear to Nick Sirianni is clearly now coaching to a lack of confidence in Elliott, or else he wouldn't have punted in that situation in the fourth quarter and probably would have gone for it, right? So that's, to me, it's almost being under discussed, because I've heard a lot of Jalen this, Jalen that today. And I'm not saying that that's not fair, but at least Jalen's got a, he's the quarterback. I mean, he's had good games. Not that Jake isn't. Jake has a track record too, but we see that when kickers struggle, it tends to last a little bit and it tends to get in their heads, right? And you just can't feel confident about the Eagles winning 3 playoff games if they have to, 2 in a Super Bowl. If their kicking game is not there along with the pass offense, maybe 1 or 2, but how many Eagles playoff games or big games have come down to a Jake Elliott make? How many Ravens games came down to a Justin Tucker? How many Colts games came down to a Vinatieri? Or the same thing with the Patriots, or Vinatieri or Sebastian, or no, not Sebastian. What was his name? Why can't I remember the Patriots kicker after Vinatieri? He was pretty good too.
Gostkowski.
Thank you, Steven Gostkowski. So if you're telling me that in the playoffs, the Eagles are going to get a sporadic pass offense and an erratic Jake Elliott, I'm going to tell you they're probably not the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
The sequence, too, by the way, it's 2nd down and 19 after Hurts took the 9-yard sack.
Mm-hmm.
But because they don't have any faith in Hurts, they run the ball on 2nd and 19, which isn't like, okay, horrible. They do run the ball well. And then everything after that, it's just short, because they're not really having it. So the byproduct of they didn't have trust in the kicker, they didn't have trust in the quarterback, was we'll just punt it away.
Right. And when you're, a 10-2 team, it doesn't feel like that should ordinarily be your mentality. And it hasn't been the mentality all year long. This is not the time of the year where you want to start seeing some regression in some areas, but Listen, I know a lot of people have tried to draw a parallel between how you feel about this year's pass offense to how you felt last year's pass defense. And certainly last year's pass defense and 10-2 proved to be built on a house of cards and very easily crumbleable, right? But the difference is the pass defense last year probably overachieved and rode the coattails of the offense and didn't have as much talent as this pass offense has. So in some ways, I don't see a complete implosion, but you got to play the Steelers on Sunday, and they have a great defense. So if you lose in 2 and 3 straight weeks where you're not really loving what you're seeing from your pass offense, then that sort of becomes a question mark really headed down the stretch.
Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast, Eagles win. What you think of the defense yesterday? I mean, 16 points. They got a lot of pressure yesterday. It was the highest pressure rate against Bryce Young in his career, and it seems like he had a rough year last year. And yesterday, the Eagles got more pressure on him than he has ever faced. It's a weird kind of dynamic of what you thought of the defense and the results.
Yeah, I made a point in the postgame show to say I don't think the pass rush was as bad as maybe statistically it looked like because they didn't get sacks or anything like that. They moved Bryce Young off his mark quite a bit. They also have a bad offensive line. So you would have expected Bryce Young to have to be moved off his mark. And Bryce Young made a lot of second reaction plays. I'm not absolving the defense. You can't leave Xavier to get wide open in the middle of the field on the final drive the way they did. And you did see that because of what Bryce was doing, that Vic Fangio was pulling out the blitzes there in the fourth quarter. And that caused a couple of one-on-ones. And Adam Thielen's been routing up guys in this league for a long time. And he routed up a couple of their guys. CJ, he routed up Cooper DeJean a little bit. But overall, I can't say I'm concerned about it. I don't think the Eagles are going to go every game here on out and not give up yards. They're going to play some decent quarterbacks. The next 2 weeks are interesting, right? You're playing a good Steelers offense and a good Washington offense after that. And we'll see how the Eagles defense does. I think this game against the Steelers will be really interesting because the Steelers have a good offensive line, and it'll be a nice test because I just don't know what to expect from the edge rushers, Mike, when you're really going on a 3-man rotation until Bryce Huff gets back, which probably isn't until the playoffs, right? And look at the 3 guys: Josh Sweat, who wore down last year, J.L.X. Hunt's a rookie, and Nolan Smith is an improving pass rusher, but more of a chase and pursue guy than a beat you with raw power or speed guy.
All right, Moshe, obviously yesterday they get the win. They win 9 straight. They win 22-16 over Carolina. Kind of an uneven game, obviously, the passing game. 209 yards rushing yesterday for the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, 124 yards. I guess the question I would ask you is, his game, the 124, it didn't feel like he had the biggest impact in the game yesterday. You had Josh Allen in a loss yesterday with 6 total touchdowns. Who benefited more from the day they had yesterday? The losing player with 6 touchdowns or the winning player with 124 yards?
Well, first off, I'm glad I took the under on the 175 that you offered me last week. Secondly, in a strange way, I'm probably going to say Josh Allen, because to score 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing, I get it. It's a loss. It's one of those losses where you say that wasn't really on the quarterback. I don't think did he have a turnover? I didn't see if he did or not. But either way, 6 touchdowns is a hard feat to turn your nose at because you lost the game. It wasn't because of the offense.
By the way, Allen is now minus 400. Saquon is plus 450. Now, if Allen loses again next week, they play the Lions next week. If they lose again, Philadelphia, Barkley has a day where he can showcase himself at 425 on CBS, big crowd. Maybe if he can get a big game against the Steelers, it's another chance. There was a guy who's here at the Fanatic Sportsbook. He said, hey, what are the chances Goff could win? He's plus 1,000. He plays against Allen next week, and if he can outshine Allen, is Goff a good value play there? So there you go. That's what's going on in the MVP. Mahomes is plus 4,000. Lamar Jackson's plus 1,000. Barkley's plus 450. And Josh Allen minus 400. So he is a clear favorite right now in the MVP race. Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast. Eagles win. They get ready for the Steelers next. We'll talk about it all week here on Football at 4. Thanks, bud.
You got it. Take care.
There's Moshe, and, of course, a Monday with Mosher. It's brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This 4 o'clock hour today, it's brought to you by Broadleaf's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing service, generation 609-390-3907. Online at broadleaf.net. Mike Gill in the Sports Bash. We're live at the Fanatic Sports Talk. Don't forget, we got the Monday Night Football game tonight. You listen to the game. Now, are you interested in the Simpsons broadcast of this game?
No. You know what? It's a shame, too, because I am a Simpsons fan.
You're not going to check in at all?
I do not want the Simpsons mixing in with my football.
What is that? Just an ESPN Plus thing?
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
Disney Plus, actually.
Disney Plus.
So it's Disney Plus. Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
so
kids will
they,
like it.
for those who didn't know, so they've been really pushing this thing where
It's one of the reasons why they couldn't flex this game out.
it's actually the reason, because apparently they spent a lot of work on the previs for this production tonight. But for those who don't know, they are now putting a lot of the ESPN and Hulu content on Disney Plus. Is a kind of like this way of, I guess, enticing people that they don't have to leave one app and go the other as much.
That's the thing now. ESPN Plus is now on the Disney Plus app. So basically, whatever's on ESPN Plus
and Hulu.
Yeah, you can essentially watch it on that app.
Is Homer going to be playing like quarterback? Is that what?
From what I understand, Homer is. Orlovsky was talking about this today.
Orlovsky explained it earlier. So apparently, it's like somebody's dream, and like Homer's part of one team, and
He's
Bart
the
is
Cowboys,
part of another team.
and Bart's the Bengals.
Right.
And it's like a dream. And Orlovsky and Mina Kimes and somebody like are part of this dream.
Right.
I don't know. I have no interest in it. I was never the biggest Simpsons guy.
I mean, check it out. I mean, it's been on for like 50 years.
I've seen it before. It just wasn't like, oh my God, I got to watch The Simpsons this week. Just wasn't for me.
You're just not very trendy, Mike. Admit it.
I will agree. By the way, finished the first season of Severance last night.
Oh, yeah?
I got to say, it was really slow and weird. And we were like, what are we doing? And 5 episodes in, we were like, this is real. And now we watch the end of the season, and the new season doesn't come out until January 17th. And we're like, oh, man, we got to see the next season.
Well, now you got to wait. Now you got to forget everything.
I know. But it was worth sticking with it, put it that way. All right, when we come back, Nick's Nuggets are on the way. Nicky Earnshaw's in the house for a Sports Bash Monday. We'll see what Nuggets he has today. Winter meetings, hot stoves, Sixers win. Eagles win, but did they win? That's next. Sports Bash.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. He talks to me.
On 97.3 ESPN. Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, what's the moment? It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you.
Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's face it, winter can be a hard season. It's cold pretty much all the time. Blizzard, you have to shovel. Another blizzard, you slip on ice. But you know what makes winter suck a little less? Getting a free phone. Join Cricket Nation and get a free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Ooh, ouch. Welcome to enjoying more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must open a new line on the $60 unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Got a leaky pipe? At Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the person to do the fixing. Got a furnace issue? They've got a person for that. Because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home services and repair folks. From plumbing to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, now in South Jersey. They're bringing helpful home. The helpful you love from the store now to your front door. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to book your next appointment today.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Happy Honda Days are here at Boardwalk Honda. With over 200 new Hondas in stock and more arriving daily, it's the perfect time to find your next car. Right now, enjoy huge savings off MSRP on select models and enjoy interest rates as low as 0.9% APR. Financing for up to 60 months on the new 2024 Honda Prologue. But don't wait. Happy Honda Days won't last forever. Don't miss out. Stop by today or visit them online at HondaBoardwalk.com. That's HondaBoardwalk.com.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Looking for the perfect RV to hit the open road this fall? Look no further than Hitch RV, your premier RV dealer. They're offering unbeatable pricing during their fall reduction sale on a wide range of RVs, from cozy travel trailers to luxurious motorhomes. Hitch RV is dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and quality RVs. Visit them today at hitchrv.com/Berlin or call 856-629-7400. Hitch RV, your adventure awaits.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NFL, the Eagles win their 9th straight game Sunday. They beat the Carolina Panthers 22-16, improving to 11-2. Jalen Hurts threw for 108 yards on 14 completions, but Saquon Barkley had 124 yards on the ground. That sets a franchise rushing record for the season. Hurts had 2 touchdown passes, one to Devontae Smith, the other to Grant Calcaterra. He also had a 1-yard score. NHL, the Flyers will be in Columbus on Tuesday night to take on the Blue Jackets. Philadelphia has lost 3 straight games, falling Sunday to Utah 4-2. This will be a 1-game trip, with the Flyers returning home on Thursday to face Detroit. NBA, the Sixers are off until Friday, facing the Indiana Pacers. Philadelphia has won 4 of their last 5. They beat the Chicago Bulls on Sunday 108-100. Joel Embiid, a double-double, 31 points, 12 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, a triple-double, 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves.
Curbside pickup available, and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly. B21.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. We do have some puddles and wet surfaces around from today's rain, but there's no danger of a freeze tonight. Road conditions will just be wet, not icy. Low temperatures expected to dip to around 45 degrees as fog develops, and fog will linger through much of tomorrow. Maybe a peak of sun in the afternoon, high 56. Wednesday we get wet again. Periods of rain likely, could be heavy at times. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
Healthier starts here with Get Covered New Jersey. Get quality, affordable health coverage. 9 in 10 get financial help to lower costs, and many pay $10 a month or less. Enroll at getcovered.nj.gov.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3
Live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. You can watch the show live. Use the hashtag SB Live. That'll make it easier to find. It's time for Nick's Nuggets. They're brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. That's where we are today and every Monday. Nick's Nuggets right now on the back. Now, there's a lot of nuggets we can get into today. You had, that Joel Embiid guy. He's actually pretty important. Who knew? Right? The Sixers won. They've won 4 out of 5, by the way. So you got the Sixers, got the awful performance by the Eagles that resulted in a win yesterday. You got the hot stove heating up. The Phillies made a signing today. What nuggets we got today?
Oh, man, Mike, I was sweating all these nuggets today. I had so many I could list off, right? And I knew we only have a certain amount of time to get them all in. I had to make a couple of cuts today, so we got a 4-pack of nuggets. If we can get them in, we might go 3, depending on how much time we go, Mike. But I got to start with the Eagles game yesterday. There's no way, no how I could come on the air today and not talk about the debacle of a win yesterday. That was a disastrous win, but it's okay. They got the W, and that's all that matters in the National Football League. Listen, Carolina's played some good teams close over the past couple of weeks. I thought the Eagles were going to be a team. Hey, maybe we'll blow them out. They played the Eagles close. But the talk of the town and nugget number one is Jalen Hurts had a bad game. And I want to be specific about that. He had a bad day, okay? Let's not go into all of this talk about Jalen Hurts. Oh, they're not going to be good enough to get to a Super Bowl with. They've been to a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, and I don't understand. Listen, he's got the highest completion percentage of his career right now, if you go look at his statistics. I think we also forget he's been doing it with his legs as well, okay? How about that 3rd and 10 play where he ran for 35 yards that ended up getting a touchdown? That, I feel like, has gotten lost in all this drama with the passing game. Listen, was he good yesterday? Did he miss A.J. Brown a lot? Absolutely. There was some wide open chances for A.J. Brown to get the football, and Jalen Hurts just did not throw the ball. And I think it's because Jalen is being too conservative, and he's not being himself. It's a little confusing on some of the decisions he makes because he doesn't want to turn the ball over. During their 9-game win streak so far, he has turned the ball over one time. And they also have to remember, everyone out there has to remember that they are a running football team. Remember, they shifted their philosophy after that bye week, after the meeting with the offensive line. So those are things we have to remember. But the piling on of Jalen, everyone's an all-22 expert on social media. It's ridiculous at this point. Listen, Jalen had a bad game yesterday, no doubt about it. Does he need to be better? Yes, but the piling on to Jalen, it's getting a little much, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, if you're someone who thinks he's a perpetual problem, I think that's unfair. I mean,
I agree.
I think yesterday he was awful. I think yesterday was awful, and he's awful he was awful in hiding almost because he made some big plays. He had the big run. He had the 2 touchdown passes. He accounted for 3 touchdowns. So in the end, they're saying he's a big reason why we won the game yesterday. But yesterday, I thought he was a big problem, big picture. The big picture for me is he missed so many guys yesterday at an elementary level. I mean, he's missing guys on 5-yard slant patterns in the middle of the field that are wide open. I said, you got A.J. Brown wearing pink cleats. You can't miss the guy. And somehow he missed them all day long. He has a throw that was his biggest play of the day to Devontae Smith. He made the wrong decision on that one. Calcaterra is wide open over the middle of the field. If he throws it to Calcaterra can keep on running. Instead, he throws it to Smith. Smith has to go down to his knees to catch the ball. Yeah, it's a big play, but he threw it to the wrong guy. He scored 2 touchdown passes. He threw it to the wrong guy on both plays. The one touchdown he throws to Smith, he should have thrown to Brown. The other touchdown he throws to Calcaterra, he should have thrown to Brown. He missed Brown all day. It was almost like Brown, urinated in his Cheerios before the day and said, I'm not throwing to you all day, buddy. That's what you get for doing that to me. I mean, I don't know what that was yesterday, but he did not play well. Look, the Eagles' offense, you don't need to watch the All-22 to see that there is guys open. This team is Saquon Barkley, slants, play action, deep shots, middle seam, tight end, rinse, repeat. That should be the whole offense. They can play Tecmo Bowl with this offense and have 4 plays, and they should be fine. And yet they can't get out of their own way because the quarterback, for whatever reason, is unwilling to take the pitch and catch, the easy throw.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you just said. Here's the thing with Jalen. He was awful yesterday. I'm not saying he wasn't. He missed open guys. He missed A.J. Brown. There were so many plays where it's like, especially on that third down or on that play on that first series, he was wide open down the field. Could have been a touchdown. I'm not saying he didn't miss guys yesterday. He did not play well. The thing with Jalen is the piling on. And I think when it comes to Hurts, right, it feels like it's coming from the coaching staff. And Mosher kind of brought it up, right? We don't know if it is, but it seems like they don't want him to turn the ball over. It was an issue at the beginning of the season, the end of last year. He was turning the football over way too much. It feels like they're telling him one thing and he's thinking about it too much. That's what it feels like just from watching him over the past couple of weeks. Because we didn't really pile on after the Baltimore game. We're piling on because it's the Carolina Panthers. That didn't happen last week. So now because it was the Panthers, he didn't throw for that many passing yards. He missed some open receivers. Now it's time to pull out all the All-22 and look at everything Jalen did wrong yesterday. There was a couple of he made that one throw to Devontae Smith towards the sideline that set up a touchdown. Nice throw. Baldinger even broke it down on X as well. So I'm not going to – listen, he did not play well yesterday. There's been times where you're scratching your head on some of the decisions Jalen has made. But I think the frustration is because Jalen has proven he can throw the ball, and he's proven he's a pretty good passer. And when you have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith, when they're not putting up big numbers, it makes people feel a certain way, I feel like.
Well, they've been winning without big numbers. Yesterday was on another level. I mean, they've been doing it where he's like, he's 15 of 18 for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, fine. Yesterday, he throws for 108 yards. I mean, and to me, yesterday was more there were plays to be made that were just not being made. And the other days, he's making the throw down the field. He's getting the 40-yard touchdown. He's getting the 35-yard touchdown pass. There's big plays here and there. Yesterday, it seemed like was a day like, hey, let's see if we can kind of get into a little, that's one of the problems. There is no rhythm to the offense because they run so much. And Sirianni was asked, hey, do you, because you run so much, is it hard for Jalen to get into a rhythm? He's like, no, he doesn't want to throw Jalen under the bus. But when I said, it's like when you have a kid and he's at that age where he's ready to start trying things. And he's like, hey, can I try this? And you're like, you could try it, but if, it goes wrong, you're never going to do it again. And makes that kid think do I want to mess this up so that I never get the chance to do this again? And it was like, Jalen, you're only going to throw the ball 18 times. So if you mess up on one of them, you're in trouble. Don't, and he's like, he doesn't want to mess it up. And it's like, listen, it's an easy throw. There's A.J. Brown's open. 1, 2, 3, throw him the ball.
It feels like, Mike, it feels like someone's in his ear. He's being coached because he doesn't want to turn the ball over. It feels like he doesn't want to take those risks or even throw it into coverage. He's going to the first read or he's going to a guy. I don't know. And he's making confusing decisions because he doesn't want to turn the ball over. That's just the way it feels like he's playing the quarterback position at this point. And they're so run heavy when he gets the opportunity, it feels like he gets all frustrated or something. I don't know what it could be, because it's confusing on some of the decisions he's been able to make. And I feel like it's because he does not want to turn the ball over because of how prevalent it was later of last season and early on in this season.
Yeah, and it's almost like, we're playing against a team like Carolina that we should really take care of, so I really can't mess up against this team. I don't want to have face the music for, hey, Jalen, why'd you throw 3 interceptions against the worst pass defense in the league? So what ends up happening is you barely do anything against the worst pass defense in the league. So, it's almost like his fear of the mistakes against the worst team made it worse.
Right. That's what it feels like. He's fearing turning the football over. And if you do it against Carolina, you're going to get killed. But you're getting killed either way by everybody.
It's perplexing to me how a guy who came out of nowhere to have an unbelievable. Now, could you say, hey, teams figured him out, and they're not giving him the same things that he was getting before, and he hasn't been able to make the adjustments. We see him make plays and make throws. I don't question whether he can make these throws and whether or not that's not the question. Is he not seeing things? Is he just saying, we're watching, I said, A.J. Brown's open. If I'm the quarterback, my flaw would be I would look at number 11 way too much.
Right, because he's a top 5 receiver in football, Mike. He should be looking A.J. Brown's way. And, I wonder if remember, new offense, new offensive coordinator. There was injuries at the beginning of the season. Maybe they're not all on the same page, on everything, right? Remember, this is a brand new offense for Jalen Hurts once again.
Yeah, listen, Hurts has the one thing that he can bounce back to is he went to the Super Bowl. He played well in the Super Bowl. So it's hard to try to convince me that the moments are too big for him. Right?
Yeah.
The moment's not too big for a guy. He excelled at the college level in the national championship game. He excelled at the pro level in the Super Bowl. So the moments are not too big for him. The guy's not an idiot. It is perplexing, though, when I watched that game yesterday, and I'm saying, this guy's open. What are you doing? How is this happening against this team at this stage of the season? You've got every opportunity to just blow this team out of the water. Just get the ball to number 11 and let him just, I say it every week, run a slant, let him catch the ball. Yep. He'll break a tackle or a missed tackle, and he ends up getting and the one time they ran the slant yesterday, won. And he did it last week too. The guy missed a tackle, Brown gets a first down. And I'm thinking, how do you not see that and say, we got this play all day long until they stop it?
That's on Kellen Moore to make the call. Throw the slants. Call more slant routes. I don't know why you wouldn't with A.J. Brown, who could break tackles like no tomorrow.
I will say that I don't think they call him enough, but yesterday they did, and he wasn't throwing him the ball. He's open. The touchdown play, it's a slant play. Brown is wide open, and he throws a touchdown, but to Smith. He
also could have got leveled on that play, though. He could have he did get leveled on that play. A.J. Brown did. He could have got his head taken off.
If he threw him the ball when he was open immediately. Yes, he ended up getting clocked, but he was wide open immediately, and it wasn't even close. Instead, he makes a tougher decision and a tougher throw. And you're thinking, how did you miss the guy, the best receiver on the planet almost, right in front of you?
I was yelling the same thing. I thought A.J. Brown was wide open. You could see it on the broadcast. You don't need to watch the film for that. But I don't know. That's why I'm confused on some of the decisions he's making. I wonder if he's just thinking too much, doesn't want to turn the ball over.
The touchdown he threw to Calcaterra, Brown was wide open. He missed Brown all day. So I can understand why Brown was frustrated.
Yeah.
He was open. What his Twitter handle is. Always open. He wasn't lying yesterday. He was always open.
Well, you knew as soon as he made those comments in the post-game presser, it was going to open up the floodgates for this conversation about Jalen Hurts. Here we go again. But listen, they got the W. They play the Steelers next week. Listen, it's over. You got to flush it. Now you got to move on to the next one. All right, moving along to nugget number 2. It's kind of got lost in all the Eagles discussion today, all the Eagles drama with the pass offense. Joel Embiid played basketball yesterday, guys. I couldn't believe it. I actually flipped over a few times during the Eagles game. They played simultaneously. The Sixers took on the Bulls. And Embiid, listen, he was awful to start. Bad first quarter. Missed his first 7 shots of the ball game, but ended up with 31 points, 12 rebounds as well. Maxey had a double-double. We had a fully healthy team. Embiid's back. According to ESPN, though, he did make some comments after the game. He said, quote, "I've been saying it for the last few months. It's been extremely depressing. It's something that hasn't been figured out, and it's been extremely annoying because I would love to play every single game," end quote. That's from Tim Bontemps' story on ESPN.com. And that's Embiid referring to the injury that he has sustained with the knee. The knee looked pretty good yesterday, but according to him, it's about the swelling in this injury. But he was back. The team looked good. Like you mentioned at the top, Mike, they won 4 of 5 as of late. They're right around that 10th spot to get back in the mix of things here. I mean, the Sixers, are they back, Mike?
I'm not going to say they're back until we get a better feel of how frequent Embiid's going to be available. Now, he should play Friday because they don't play all week long. I was checking back and forth yesterday, flipping. You know, it's funny. Every time the Eagles were on a commercial, the Sixers were on a commercial. There was a little time there where there was halftime of the Eagles and the Sixers had a little bit going. Embiid was awful at the start of the game. You could tell he was rusty. You could tell he was a little bit of, just not in a rhythm. Second quarter, he was unbelievable. Second quarter, you're thinking, this is what this thing was supposed to look like. Embiid clearing out, guys going to George, and then him, he had 19 points in the second quarter. This is a guy who hasn't played essentially all season long, and he was cooking in the second quarter. Until, though, you get a better feel of how available he's going to be. But you got a chance. Look, they've won 4 out of 5. Keep that in mind. They won on Friday night against a good Orlando team. They won the game on yesterday, and they've won 4 out of 5 all of a sudden, and you're like, okay, maybe if he's available, yes, we've said this all along. They're going to make the playoffs if he's available. As long as he's available, they're going to be fine. You might not like the season or the seeding or any of that, but that's why people who are talking about tanking and going that's just not it's not even a possibility with this roster that they have. It's not, and you talked about Friday. They've already shot down. They're not trading Yabusele. They don't want to move him. This is a 3-year plan for them. And part of the plan is Embiid's availability. That's the biggest part of the plan. But they can't trade him this year. So that's out of the possibility. And I can't imagine that they're going to bail on Paul George after 25 games of this. So what you saw yesterday was a better indication of who they can be. When Embiid, how many points did he score yesterday?
31.
Embiid or Paul George?
Yeah.
31.
Yeah, 31.
31. Yep.
Yeah. 31 points yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he had a massive day. It was a bad start. He looked a little sluggish, but then got into a rhythm, and they looked like how this team was supposed to look. And you had Paul George on the floor. You had Maxey out. Maxey had a triple-double in last night's game. Unbelievable out of him. So, listen, they're a game and a half out of that 10 seed. It's within striking distance. I'm just saying we got to let's look back after Christmas, and then we'll start talking to see if they're back once again. Before I go, I got a short amount of time. The first domino, the big domino, PG, you don't have to hear me bring it up
there it is
anymore. This is the
Soto
last
nugget.
Day.
I was waiting about 20 minutes for this one.
I couldn't lead with it. I could not lead with it. Nugget number 3, Juan Soto goes to the New York Mets. $765 million, according to Jeff Passan of ESPN. There's also incentives and other things built into the contract that could get this thing up to $800 million. Listen, Steve Cohen opened up his bank account and said, here you go, Juan Soto. And Mike, the crazy thing about this mammoth contract with Soto is there are no deferrals like the Ohtani contract. Somehow, some way, Juan Soto, with just his bat, got way more money than Shohei Ohtani, who pitches and hits with no deferrals. Unreal. I'm shocked we even got it this early in the offseason.
Well, he said he wanted to get it done quickly. He wanted to get it out of the way. They did. No deferrals. Yeah, he's going to get paid. And he got a $75 million up front as well. Yeah. He's going to be 41 years old at the end of the deal, but it's about now. These deals are not about at the end what you look like. And that's the crazy thing. These aren't sports deals. These deals aren't about giving me 15 chances to win the World Series. This is about how my business can make money right off the bat. And they're going to build up around Citi Field. They're going to try to make it an attraction. They're going to try to make it a place to come. And it's all because of him. And, the Ohtani deal, I think they were saying in the end, They ended up they're going to make that money back because of all the advertising they got from the Japanese market and et cetera, jersey sales, all that stuff. These are business decisions, not on the field decisions. We talk so much about the Sixers and the process and yada, yada. Why did they do it? Yes, they wanted to win championships, but they want to make money. And the Mets are saying, we are willing to invest $765 million now because we're going to make more than that just because we have him on our team. And at the end of this contract, you're going to complain and say he's old. What are we going to do with him? But they will have made money hand over fist because of it.
Yep. Can't believe the Mets outbid the Yankees. They are not the Yankees anymore, Mike. All right, 3-pack of nuggets for you today. Couldn't fit them all in.
All right, well, we'll try again tomorrow. There's Nick's Nuggets here on the Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. This hour of the show was brought to you by our friends at Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing service, and installation for generations. Call 609-390-3907 online, broadlees.net. When we come back, Sal Palantonio is in the house for a Sal Pal Monday edition. We'll get Sal's thoughts on Jalen Hurts, the pass game. Is it a concern? The pressure from the defense. What stood out about the Eagles' win yesterday? What stood out about the big picture from that win? Sal Pal joins us back on a Monday here, and Nick's Nuggets are always brought to you by the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. 5 o'clock hour, Sal Pal is coming up next. Don't go away. The Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One as the Bengals take on the Cowboys. Joe Burrow and Cincinnati have a top 5 scoring offense. Now they travel to Dallas to take on a resurgent Cowboy team. Don't miss it on Monday Night Football.
Listen to Monday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to book today.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trade, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trade, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, 24 EV9, $1389 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to MattBlattKia@NJ.com for complete details, or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes through KNF. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you.
Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hard to believe that Christmas is only a couple of weeks away, right? But there's still plenty of time to find incredible gift deals because Macy's Friends and Family Sale is happening now. What does that mean? It means when you use your coupon or Macy's card, you can take an extra 30% off, just like Friends and Family can. That's 30% off the best holiday gifts, 30% off the best designer brands, 30% off what's trending right now. It's just this week. It's just what you were looking for, and it's only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
The best call to make on game day is ordering catering from the Piccadilly Inn.
For parties big or small, the Pick does it all. Your guests will be cheering for the Pick spin on football favorites like pulled pork nachos, cheesesteaks, burgers, and their award-winning buffalo wings, tails, and ears. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the Piccadilly Inn. Join the flock and follow the Pick on Facebook or at piccadilly.com for their Pick game specials. And be sure to pre-order to guarantee your spot in Sunday's lineup.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Sage Jewelers is your gift-giving headquarters. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, is offering the latest in diamond jewelry.
Sage Jewelers has certified GIA diamonds and the most exquisite diamond engagement rings. Come see the selection of lab-grown diamond and fashion jewelry, all up to 40% off. The Sage Jewelers watch selection is second to none, including Citizen, Seiko, Tissot, Timex, and G-Shock.
Sage Jewelers expert jewelers can also customize anything.
Sage Jewelers, your holiday headquarters on Tilton Road in Northfield.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business, or get started with reliable internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, for a limited time, find out how to get an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tune in to the Bet365 Play of the Day during the Sports Bash with me, Mike Gill, every weekday afternoon at 5:45 on 97.3 ESPN. Made possible by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks with an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Score a touchdown when you bank with Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Catch lower rates on loans and higher rates on savings. You'll cheer when you don't have to pay a penny to get your own money since they offer 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs. Get the details or open an account online with just a $25 minimum deposit at JerseyShoreFCU.org or swing to a branch in Northfield, Galloway, Hemington, or Rio Grande. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Happy Honda Days are here at Boardwalk Honda. With over 200 new Hondas in stock and more arriving daily, it's the perfect time to find your next car. Right now, enjoy huge savings off MSRP on select models and enjoy interest rates as low as 0.9% APR. Financing for up to 60 months on the new 2024 Honda Prologue. But don't wait. Happy Honda Days won't last forever. Don't miss out. Stop by today or visit them online at HondaBoardwalk.com. That's HondaBoardwalk.com.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN.
Sounds great, guys.
WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
All right, 5 o'clock, Sports Bash Live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. I'm Mike Gill. Sal Paolantonio, ESPN national correspondent, set to join us to give us his take on the Eagles' 22-16 win over the Carolina Panthers, which a lot of people don't feel like a win, it sounds like. Sal Pal is the Eagles complaining after the game. A.J. Brown says we got a problem. Passing. Is that a big problem? When you watch that team yesterday, do you look at that passing offense and do you see more concern about that, or do you look at that win and say, hey, they got out of with a win and you move on? Yeah, I mean, A.J. Brown was asked, quite frankly, what's wrong with the offense passing? Is that is he saying the quarterback not getting him? Is he basically saying Hurts missing him? Yeah, you take a look at, you said it. I mean, and I agree with you, Sal. I mean, you're watching the game. A.J. Brown had every right to be a little miffed yesterday. He seemingly was open, even on plays where they had success. The touchdown pass to Smith, he has Brown wide open. He's got Calcaterra, he's got Brown wide open. Brown, of all guys, seemed like he had some reason to be upset yesterday. But what'd you think of the run game yesterday with 124 yards out of Saquon Barkley? Were you happy with what you saw from the run game? Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see if the schedule will allow him to do so. The Eagles, obviously, with 4 games left after this, they'll play Pittsburgh this week. Yes, he breaks LaShawn McCoy's record. I want to go back to something you were just discussing there about the coaching staff kind of helping him, and that the fact that they, blitzed him relentlessly. Did Carolina do stuff that other teams now can say, this is what Carolina did? We like that. Let's try to do what Carolina did. Sal, you got, and I agree, like the second half, it feels like that the play calls and design of the run game in the second half is a lot more like a symphony almost. I mean, you're talking about a lot of the things moving. They got a lot of moving parts, and it just looks a lot crisper and fun in that second half for whatever reason. We keep talking about Barkley and how he's been a closer in the second half. I think it's all encompassing of the way that they're calling the which runs they're dialing up in the second half. He's on pace for 21-22. Mm-hmm. That would be the talk, right? If he does it in the 17th game, and he took an extra game than Dickerson did, who had 60 games. Well, it's hard not to, man. It's funny. On a day where Josh Allen had 6 total touchdowns, but in a loss, you got Barkley 124 yards in a win, and yet the odds got a little further in Allen's favor, even though he lost the game yesterday. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same story here, right? Yeah, because it feels like Philly loses Seattle every single time they play. Wow. Jeez. The matchup there, yes. Let's go over that real quick because we got a Sal Pal Monday, no Sal Pal Friday this week. You saw them up close and personal yesterday. What would worry you? Mm-hmm. Yep. Real quick, Sal, the kicker, is he a thought in your mind at all, or is that not entered yet? I mean, he hasn't made one over 50, 0 for 6. Yesterday, they obviously had a chance to kick a long one. They punted instead. Is the kicker starting to factor into this at all? Don't ask me math, Sal. Don't ask me math, please. Right, yeah. For the 38. Yeah, 55-yarder. Yeah, and you're seeing it all over. I mean, Tucker, he's struggling. The only guy who's been on automatic is whoever's kicking for Kansas City, it seems like, and the guy in Pittsburgh. I mean, other than that, the kicking has been all over the place, it seems like, this year. Yeah. Nothing. Wow. Well, you got the Eagles skating out with a 22-16 win. A rough day for the passing game yesterday. Defense pressured, pressured big time yesterday on Bryce Young. He was pressured a career-high 19 times by the Eagles. It was the most by the Eagles since 2020. So the Eagles defense did put the pressure on yesterday, but, man, it got scary and ugly. They converted some interesting plays yesterday. You had a ball tipped up in the air. You had looked like it was going to be a safety, and Bryce Young wiggled his way out and found Adam Thielen. Yeah. Thielen. Yeah. Thielen, by the way, 9 catches for 102 yards. He was the one receiver this season, seemingly, that kind of got them and had his way and found some little holes in the defense. So it was one of those games. You have them every year. It's just unfortunate that you have them against a team, that quite frankly, it doesn't have a lot to play for. And that starts to enter some doubt sometimes, especially because of what happened last year. You saw some parallels. Well, he assaulted the record book yesterday. Steve Van Buren, he went down. LaShawn McCoy, he went down. 9th 100 yards rushing game, most in Eagles history, as he continues to pile up the stats. Sal Paolantonio here on a Sports Bash Monday as the Eagles improve to 11-2. The number one seed still in play. We'll keep our eye on that. Lions, Bills next week. Eagles, Steelers, 2 big games. We'll have them covered for you here on the Sports Bash. All right, pal. Very cool. Very nice. 2 big. Which game? The Bills? Ooh, good game, 28-23. You can listen to it right here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, Sal, appreciate the Monday visit. As always, Sal Paolantonio here on the Sports Bash Monday. And, you know, he said it. Look, he's got to play. Breakdowns in the protection but that being said, there was plays to be made. We can't sugarcoat that either, and I think that was kind of highlighted there.
And Sal wants the record for Saquon Barkley. For the gentleman who called me a flaming idiot last week, I'll take that win. It's getting more and more pub, and I like it.
Well, let's see real quick before we run to the break here.
Barkley himself wants it. The players, they want it as a team.
He's on pace for 21-22. Dickerson had 21.05, so he is 17 yards ahead of Dickerson's pace.
And he's just really got to keep up his own pace, what he's been doing all year. 100 yards here, 120 there.
He had his 9th 100-yard game. I will say this.
Right.
I thought he had a missed opportunity for a bigger game yesterday.
That's the thing about yesterday's game is he got over 100 yards, his average, but it really was kind of like a ho-hum game. Right, there wasn't a big run.
Yeah, he didn't have the backbreaker,
but he still got over 120.
All right, more Sports Bash coming up on the way. Big 3. We'll see what we got today. A lot of people talking about this Eagles game. It was kind of a nondescript game going in. Eagles Panthers, but why was it the talk of the town afterwards this morning? And after that, you'll hear next on the Sports Bash.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City, a community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Some people just know they could save on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. The Nizam's Indian Restaurant on Route 40 in Egg Harbor Township is ready to serve you delicious Indian dishes. NJ.com ranked them as the #2 best restaurant in all of New Jersey. And this just in, It's their Eagles football special. Your table receives free tandoori, spicy chicken wings if the Eagles win for dine-in customers only. Join them for a special lunch buffet, Fridays through Sundays from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Visit thenizams.com for more information.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Tired of hearing no? Everywhere you go, we turn no into go during Matt Blatt Nissan's November sales event. Say no to high-priced new cars. No. Brand new Matt Blatt Nissan Sentra S, just $19,999. November. Say no to low trade offers. No. AJ the Trade Man wants your trade, no matter the make, miles, or condition. Say no to down payments. No. Say no to payments for 90 days. No. No. And say no to high interest rates. No. 60 months, 0% financing on every clearly marked new Nissan. Backed by Matt Blatt's 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Tired of hearing no to a discount on a new ride? No. New 25 Sentra S, under 20 grand.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Approved Tier 1 credit for NEMAC. Negative equity refinance. VIN number SY231649. MSRP 22730 plus tax tag at $689.50. Offers can't be combined. 0% for 60 months. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details.
It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
I'm Dr. Caitlin Baston, New Jersey's health commissioner. As a physician and a mother, I know the importance of vaccines. They protect us all from serious illness. With your kids in school, help them stay healthy and ready to learn. Get them vaccinated against COVID, flu, and other preventable diseases. Set a date today. Learn more at nj.gov/health/vaccines.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NHL, the Flyers will be in Columbus Tuesday night. They'll take on the Blue Jackets. Philadelphia looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. Sunday, they fell to Utah 4-2. Owen Tippett scored his 8th of the season in the loss. This will be a 1-game trip to Ohio. The Flyers return home Thursday to face Detroit. NBA, the Sixers are off until Friday when they host the Indiana Pacers. Philadelphia has won 4 of their last 5. They beat the Chicago Bulls Sunday 108-100. Joel Embiid, a double-double of 31 points and 12 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, a triple-double, 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists. The Eagles go to 11-2 Sunday, beating Carolina 22-16. They win their 9th straight game. Saquon Barkley set a franchise rushing record for the season. He had 124 yards on the ground. Jalen Hurts, 2 touchdown passes, one to Devontae Smith, the other to Grant Calcaterra. He also added a 1-yard score. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
This is an important safety message from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety.
I'm Colonel Callahan of the New Jersey State Police. Last year, over 25% of traffic fatalities were related to alcohol or drug impairment, a staggering statistic. When you choose to drive under the influence, you're risking it all. Make the right choice. We are all counting on you.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. We do have some puddles and wet surfaces around from today's rain, but there's no danger of a freeze tonight. Road conditions will just be wet, not icy. Low temperatures expected to dip to around 45 degrees as fog develops, and fog will linger through much of tomorrow. Maybe a peak of sun in the afternoon, high 56. Wednesday we get wet again. Periods of rain likely, could be heavy at times. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
You're a winner when you play Borgata's Winning Wonderland. Now through December 28th, earn entries for your stake in over $1 million in prizes, including 2 2025 Range Rovers. Visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic.
You come with me.
The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, 5:30. It's time for today's Big Three. It's brought to you by the Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Make the switch and bank with your only community credit union. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union, offering the lowest loan rates around, including refinancing. Learn more at JerseyShoreFCU.org. Who gets the credit for the Eagles win? Peachy, who you got?
I'm going to actually go with Sirianni.
Wow.
You like that one? I've been thinking about it, and that decision he made at the end of the game to punt, not go for it because it was 4th and 9, not try the field goal with Dick Elliott because he's really been struggling. Sirianni punting the ball there, I think. Now the defense did let him go all the way down the field, but I think that was a good decision by Sirianni. I'm gonna go with the coach.
Wow, Josh.
Wasn't expecting that. I would just go Saquon Barkley because I feel like he's the only guy who consistently gave you something yesterday.
I mean, you can go with Barkley every week. You got to try and switch it up a little bit.
Well, I went with Braden Mann last week. He was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yes, he was.
And he got that punt down at the 1 that I just talked about.
So my pick of Braden Mann wasn't so bad in this who gets the credit last week. Now, was it?
No.
Now, I saw people criticizing Sirianni for that very decision.
I don't agree with that. I think that was a good decision by him.
Well, I thought it was an interesting decision. It showed that he didn't have a lot of faith in his kicker.
And that turned out to be right because Elliott has not made a field goal over 50 yards all year.
I'm going to go – this is a tough one because there's not like a standout performer on like defense either.
I mean, Slay had that pass breakup.
That was a big play. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had the interception.
Gardner-Johnson had the interception, and he got hurt, and then he came back and got the interception.
And he had that big hit to start the game.
Yeah. Oh, man. Who gets the credit? 609-403-0973. Who would you give the credit to for the Eagles win? If you were picking out the MVP of that game yesterday, who would that be? Now, that stat that we talked about with Sal Pal, they had 19 pressures. It was the most by the Eagles since 2020. Could you say their pass rush, even though they only had 1 sack, was the pass rush the difference in the game yesterday?
No, because some of those attempted tackles of Bryce Young were arm tackles, and somehow that little man got out of those arm tackles.
I'm glad you brought that up. The tackling yesterday, we talked about the defense and why they've been so good. The tackling yesterday was not good. It was one of the reasons why, even Cooper DeJean, we've lauded him for the tackle he made on Jamar Chase in the open field, the one he made on Derrick Henry in the open field. He had a chance yesterday to wrap up on Chuba Hubbard yesterday and, didn't do it.
And a lot of those Thielen routes and catches were on Cooper.
Guys, 2 of those were wheel routes by Thielen, and DeJean got burned on both of them. I was like, what happened to this guy?
Yeah. All right, what do we got today for the Big Three?
Oh, man, what do we have? We got a lot to get to here. So this morning on Get Up, Mike, they dedicated about 10 minutes of the show just to the Philadelphia Eagles. The panel of Dan Orlovsky, Rex Ryan, and Damian Woody just all standing around talking about the Eagles a day after they beat what should have been a dominant victory. Rex Ryan has a very specific take on the Eagles after yesterday's game.
Why all the drama? 9 wins in a row. You know what separates Detroit from these guys? That exact point. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he had like 3 catches or whatever. You know what he's doing? He's knocking kids' helmets off in the run game. Get over it. You don't need this in your locker room. You can fix it. The tape doesn't lie. That's what you're going to go over meetings for, and everything else will get better and we'll get it corrected.
I agree with Rex and I agree with Sal. There's no need for them to – you're 11-2. Did you have a bad game? Yes. Was it frustrating? Absolutely. And I understand the frustration. But an 11-2 team that's won 9 straight games, you don't need any crack in the bell, right? You know why they have the crack in the Liberty Bell? Because it didn't sound right. So they had to put a crack in it so that it didn't have this bad sound. Well, I talk about, in the broadcasting world, okay? There's a lot of theater of the mind in what we do. There's a lot of technical issues that go on behind the scenes that the listeners don't know unless you tell them. That's why you don't say, hey, we're having this problem, we're having that problem. We're always having problems. You just can't see that we're having the problem.
Smoke and mirrors.
The Eagles might be having technical problems, but you don't have to get on the mic and tell everybody that there's a problem going on. Let the tape tell the story behind the scenes. So I do agree with Rex. That being said, I agree with what Orlovsky said at the start of the show, or we said something earlier today. I agree with what Orlovsky said was, look, they got asked a question. He answered it. What did you want him to say? But I think it was the way that he answered it. Very terse, smiles, and just kind of was like, you guys know the answer. Here's trying to get me in trouble here.
Here's part of what Orlovsky said to your point. I spliced out the one part he talked about when he talked about the players were just answering questions yesterday.
They were asked a question. What's got to get better? The pass game.
Yeah.
Jalen was asked a question. Should it be happening in week 13? No. So they're just being candid. We don't have to lie about it. This win streak has been built on what? On the back of what?
The running game and the defense.
Okay. So the pass game is going to have to get better. It's not where they want it to be.
Yes, all of this is true. The pass game's got to get better. It's not where they want it to be. It's getting late in the season. If it's not where you want it to be now, should I have anticipation that it's going to get there?
Well, the problem I have with all this, Mike, and I was asking a couple people this question yesterday, and, no one gave me a good answer. So maybe you guys can, okay, over there at Ocean Casino Resort, Mike Gill and Pete G, okay? This team ran motion excessively in that first game against the Packers. Why have we seen almost no motion since? Remember how accurate Jalen was in all those motion plays against the Packers in Brazil, into the country on a Friday night? All of a sudden now, this team is back to not running motion again. What's going on?
The offense is perplexing. It's not fun and it's not exciting. You have a running back who's up for the MVP, and that's the best part of the offense is you have a running back. And yes, he's dynamic and he has this, innate ability to close a game out and all that stuff. But you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. This passing game should be fun. And if it's, they're not creating motion, they're not creating matchup changes, they're not creating different things, that's all fine and dandy. But it goes back to this thing should be pretty damn simple if you're the offensive coordinator. I say this should be like Tecmo Bowl, 4 plays. I got Brown on one pass play. I got Smith on another pass play. I got Goddard on another. And my fourth option is Barkley. And I can do whatever the heck I want with him. It shouldn't be so damn complex when you got these guys. And they're open. These guys are open. So motion, no motion, this, that, the other thing. These guys are good enough that they are open. And that's the frustrating part.
And again, we're not asking Hurts to be Peyton Manning in his prime in Indianapolis or Kurt Warner with the Rams. Just be competent enough that when you need to pass, you can actually deliver.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, we're not asking you to be Peyton Manning. We're not asking you to win the game for us. And look, quite frankly, they won 11 games without Jalen Hurts being the MVP of the league. 2 years ago, they won, what were they, 13-3 the year they went to the Super Bowl?
I'll pull it up.
And he was the MVP. I mean, he didn't win the award, but he was in the conversation, and he should have been in the conversation.
They were 14-3 in 2022.
Oh, the 17th game, 14-3. So,
I mean, you did tell Sal you don't like doing math, so.
Well, you added an extra game on me. I thought last year was the first year of the 17 games.
No, the first year of the 17 game was 2021, it looks like.
Gotcha.
But what is AJ's end game here? He said that for a reason. That's a clear shot to Jalen Hurts.
That's a good question,
get better, man.
actually. That's a good question. What is the message from AJ? Is it to
a wake-up call
Kellen
for Jalen
Moore,
Hurts or Kellen Moore?
that he wants more of an emphasis on him?
Well, let's remind everybody with the audio we played earlier in the show, Mike, because Orlovsky mentioned that this is kind of who A.J. Brown is.
This isn't the first time that AJ has been emotional about things. I think that's his personality. I believe it's wear his emotions on his sleeve, his friendship with Jalen. So I don't think that it's a massive issue, but we did see it kind of deteriorate last year. So I'm not saying it's going to again. They're winning. They've won on the run game and the defense, but this isn't necessarily abnormal from A.J. Brown.
It's not abnormal for receivers. Forget A.J. Brown. We know the best receivers in the league. They have a diva side to them. So this is not abnormal. That's why I said I don't think it's a big of a deal. But I agree with Rex Ryan that my team's 11-2. This is the parent that complains that their kid's not getting enough playing time and the team hasn't lost a game.
Well, like you said earlier, AJ's open every play, basically. He's open even when he's not open because he can catch those 50-50 balls with no problem.
And there was some 50-50 ball opportunities yesterday that they didn't take that shot. I'll take my shot with him one-on-one rather than throwing it to Dotson.
But, guys, there were also opportunities when he wasn't a 50-50, when he was just open and he still didn't throw him. So it goes to wonder, what is going on here? Is it Jalen not seeing it? Is it the coaches giving him bad information? Jalen made the suggestion that they're not in sync offensively. So is AJ running the wrong route sometimes? Is Jalen not knowing what he's running? I feel like we have a gazillion questions here.
Well, and then Jalen also said, it's not my choice when they talked about the offense not being in sync. And I wonder who he's referring to there.
Well, he's referring to the coaches.
The coaching, right. So it's not his choice. So they're reeling him in a little bit too much.
The whole thing is perplexing because guess what? It all comes to me down to how simple this offense should be. You are an NFL-level quarterback that's played in the Super Bowl at a very high level. You can't regress to the point that a 5-yard slant pattern has now become a geometry problem. I don't care who he's taking a shot at. It's a 5-yard pass that I throw in my backyard every night. And I complete it, by the way.
Good for you.
Maybe you'll get $50 million guaranteed.
If you asked me to throw that pass, that's all I had to do, sure.
But that is, again, the problem. And that is, as Dan Orlovsky says, the Eagles' offense, it is an elementary offense.
It's very simple. It's very elementary. It's very basic. AJ, one-on-one, or let's take a shot and hit a big play down the field. Yesterday, A.J. Brown got his first catch, his first touch, his first target at second quarter with 1:26 left on the clock. That's a problem. Now, that has not been the case all season long. It was very centric to yesterday, but they will have to have a better pass game in the playoffs to go win.
Now, I did not hear any of this from Dan and anything, but I think they used the same word, elementary.
Yes.
Like, he's not wrong. And he's not wrong about how do you go to the second quarter of a game in any week and not throw the ball to a player of A.J. Brown's magnitude?
It doesn't have to be A.J. Brown. Fill in the blank with any top-tier receiver.
Well, they've only scored 17 points in the first quarter all year. That's a problem in itself.
I meant to ask Sal about that. That's my fault.
That's a major problem in itself that is not going to get fixed, in my opinion, because it hasn't been fixed yet. What makes you think it's going to get fixed?
Funny you said that, because that was Orlovsky's biggest concern, Pete. He says he is more concerned about the early scoring issues.
The Eagles' pass game has to be AJ one-on-one or build those play-action pockets in because Jalen has the space to see it. Am I worried? No. But I've said it all year. If they start slow again and someone jumps them, that's when it becomes a slippery slope because they can't play to the style that they want.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's right. So far, this has been the narrative is, yeah, they got up to slow starts, but it hasn't hurt them. They haven't been having to – I think they played behind by 9 points in the game against Baltimore, and they overcame that. So they haven't had it become an issue yet, but that will be the question. And we talked about this with McMullen a couple of weeks ago. If they're down 2 scores in the game, 14-0, can they throw their way back into a game? They have the weapons to be able to do it. That's not the question. The question is it a symphony that is playing perfect?
And remember, Lane Johnson was on Derek Gunn's podcast, and he said a month ago that Lane Johnson is tired of them starting these games slowly. So, people can say all they want, like Nick Sirianni, it's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. Well, one of your team captains went on a media podcast and said it is a problem. So I tend to think it might be a problem, Mike.
It's not a problem until it becomes a problem, if that makes any sense. It hasn't been a problem. I mean, when you're 9 wins in a row, it's hard to say that it is a problem.
Well,
it hasn't been a problem to this point.
And what we talked about earlier on in the show with Kansas City, it hasn't been a problem for them winning by a field goal every week, it seems like.
I think
they're going to be the 1 seed.
I think, Pete, you've been reading my notes because that was the other thing that Rex Ryan said this morning on Get Up. He made a comparison.
See, Henning, we are in sync. I'm not reading your notes. We are in sync. This offense is in sync.
Maybe Jalen Hurts needs to learn from you and me.
Yes. Rhythm to it, tempo, yes.
You shouldn't have had to win, all right? But
Correct.
You got it anyway. We praise the hell out of Kansas City. Well, they won it the exact same way. There's ways of being so pumped up. Even your attitude, like coming down there. Man, body language speaks volumes. And I'm telling you right now, there's something to it. Like, what the hell are these players saying? Instead of being like, we just won 9 dang games in a row.
The problem with that, and I hear what he's saying there, the problem with that is the Eagles saw last year, we went 10-1, and the narrative was, well, good teams find ways to win, and you win ugly. And then I think people are starting to feel that Kansas City is more of they can't keep you. They're finding ways to win, but can you do it 4 weeks in a row against really good teams? They found a way to win against Carolina,
right?
Who's not a playoff team.
Yep.
They found a way to win yesterday against the Chargers, who were maybe a playoff team. They found a way to win against who else did they?
Denver's in there.
Yeah, they barely beat Denver.
Yeah, so they're finding ways to win against
Barely beat the Raiders.
Playoff.
They beat the Ravens by a foot out of bounds.
That was in the first game of the
Right.
year. Right. But the Raiders on Black Friday.
Right.
They're finding ways to win against non-playoff quality opponents.
Now they will probably get home field advantage at Arrowhead in the playoffs. It's a very tough place to play. I think it's going to be on their side again.
No thanks to the Rams yesterday.
I got the Bet365 play of the day coming up next. I know I hit the 2 football games in the Bet365 play of the day. I gave you Seahawks outright. They were 2.5 point dog. And I gave you an outright.
That's a good win by that.
And I took the under in the Chiefs game. That was a win. I don't remember all my basketball picks from Friday, but I got more picks coming up next. Here on the Sports Back.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedor bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
He does it again.
It's Flyers Blue Jack tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Flyers hockey all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. 97.3 ESPN.
Thousands in MetLife Kia. Get out of the old trade today, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Go to MetLifeKiaNJ.com for more details. That's MetLifeKiaNJ.com. It's got to be a MetLife Kia. I got
We got a line. We got a line. Super. Welcome to our line. Smile, you're on.
How many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
AI, I have a fall recently. I need to recover. Please, I'll be looking.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older. I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care. But here's what I found for the best care near you. Autumn Lake Healthcare Center, trusted leader in skilled nursing, rehabilitation, and senior care, and proud partners of the
like this.
Designers of countries, one of a kind. They have it. You know, everyone's asking.
Windshield wipers. eBay has all parts that come up. No more, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Make Sage Jewelers your gift-giving headquarters. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, offers something for everyone this holiday season.
Check out Sage Jewelers' large selection of GIA certified diamond engagement rings, designer jewelry brands, gold and silver, all up to 40% off.
Plus their watch collection, Citizen, Sitka, Tico, Climax, G-Shock, and Sage Jewelers can customize anything.
Sage Jewelers' jewelry collection offers something for everyone for all ages.
Located on Silk Road in Northfield.
Total Wine and More has a holiday gift. Bourbon for Dad. Have a note for your for a co-worker, the world's greatest wine. With free curbside pickup, save money with time. Original curves like peppermint cream and a festive cocktail into a holiday dream. Now that's a low price to shout out for food. You shop Total Wine for them and for you.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even do something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Here's your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of the party. Go for the sports team and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the Fin at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New holiday deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 30% off select major appliances, plus an additional $75 off for every $1,000 you spend on select kitchen major appliances from brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Amana, and Maytag. And don't miss big savings on DeWalt. Save $80 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 2-tool combo kit. Was $229, now just $149. Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last.
Hi, this is Michael Charlton, President and CEO of Atlantic Care. For over 125 years, you've trusted us with your care and well-being. This season, let's cherish what truly matters: our health, loved ones, friends, and neighbors. From my family to yours, happy holidays.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, getting ready to get out of here. Time for the 365 play of the day. These have been winners. What do we got for Friday there, Josh?
So, Mike, you mentioned the Seattle outright in the Chargers under, and then also you got the Pacers over right. You got the Warriors Minnesota wrong. That was really not prediction, but still 3-1 on Friday makes it 78 and 53 on
78 and 53. That's a lot of money there, PG.
I told Henning to get those splits for me. I want the football divided.
Too late now. I mean, we haven't been.
Well,
we would have to start new on that.
Hey, January 1st.
Maybe January 1st.
Yeah.
All right, I like the Bengals and the Bengals Cowboys over tonight. Over 50 as the number on that. I go Bengals Cowboys over 50. If you want to do player props, I like over 300 yards for Joe Burrow. So jump on him for over 300 yards. I don't know what his over-under number was. And last time I looked at it, I think that's a pretty good value play for the people out there as well. If you want to bet an NBA game, Raptors. I like the Raptors.
We'll see if the Bengals can win a game if they score 30 points.
Let me see. Over-under Joe Burrow on passing yards, just over-under 280 and a half. But if you want to go to the alt number, over 300, you get plus 130. I bang that one right there. Take the over in the game, and thank me tomorrow. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Yeah, the over-under 50 and a half. No Flyers tonight. They're back tomorrow. Sixers are off till Friday. Phillies hot stove. They signed closer Justin Romano. Not doing much for me there. Although we'll see what that means with Esteves and Hoffman. We're going to do baseball tomorrow. Doug Glanville tomorrow joins me on the Sports Bash from the winter meetings.